Look, happy holidays, Raider Nation nationwide.
Let's go.
Get some.
Raider!
Raider Nation, what is going on? I'm Hardcore Raider. This is the Hardcore Raider Nation podcast where we bring on other content creators and Raider fans, chop it up, talking all things Raiders. Got a few things we want to talk about kind of the Raiders game plan, what they've been working on, as well as some beef that I have with Raider Critique here. So we're going to get into this beef between me and Raider Critique here in a minute, but shout out to the chat. How you guys doing? How you doing, Raider Dave?
I'm good, man. It's a beautiful day. It's not raining here in Southern California, so we're stoked out here, dude. We hate rain. But anyway, the grass is green. It was beautiful outside, and man, I'm ready to talk some football, man. Thanks for having me back on, man.
Hell yeah.
Well,
thanks for coming on.
We're getting your rainstorm right now. It's raining down here in Texas, and
Well,
it's been pouring all day. But hey, I'm going to enjoy every bit of this episode with my cheer wine. I got my little cheer wine right here, even though my background won't like how to pick it up. It's like one of the best sodas ever made out of the state of Georgia.
Nice.
And I'm going to taste this victory.
We'll see. All right, man. Let's give a shout out to the chat real quick. Terrence, what up? Sanjoku, dude, what's up, man? Hey, Sanjoku, let us know how we need to get a hold of you, brother, so we can bring you on here. You can come on right now if you want. All right, Rick, what up? D-Menace, 4200, Circus Raider, Raider Way. Who else we got up here? Darth Raider. Shout out to all you guys. Farhan, hey, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to Raider Dave with Grimecast Media, as well as Raider Critique. We're going to do this jersey giveaway coming up here. It'll be the weekend before the Super Bowl. So, Willie Wayne, shout out to you as well. So, yeah, man, I want to get into it. We'll kind of get into this beef between me and Raider Critique here in a minute. Let some people join in and whatnot, and then we'll go over that. There was a Twitter. I didn't pull it up, but I don't know if you guys saw it, from Josh Jacobs, essentially saying something along the lines of, that I should pull it up here so I don't misquote it, but something along the lines of like, show him the money, you know what I mean? Or like pay him what he's worth. Did you guys see that?
I saw a tweet, like what the reporters tried to say, what was a cryptic tweet, but I mean, I read it. I mean, we're just so early into, free agency is when we're really going to get heated with talks. And I mean, I'm sure there's some.
Oh yeah. It's got to make sense to me. And that's what he said when he got interviewed at the end of the year, as far as the contract. So yeah, he texted that today. So I don't know if they're in like negotiation talks or whatever, but it's kind of, it's kind of one of those things that Josh Jacobs putting out there. It's got to make sense to me. So I don't know if this regime is lowballing him or whatever, or like what a fair contract is. To me, I think he should make 12, 13 million. I know a lot of people are in the camp. We should franchise tag Jacobs. I think that's a slap in the face to him, but that's just my opinion. I think we should pay him even if he wants 15 mil. Over 15 mil, that's a little much, but I don't know. What's your guys' take on Josh Jacobs putting out that tweet? It's got to make sense.
All right, hey, I want to be the first one to chime in on this. Look, because he's only going to get $8 million for his fifth year deal. If we would have picked up his fifth year deal, right? The franchise tag is $10 million.
Franchise tag, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, why not go ahead and franchise tag him and bring him back one more year, make him have a prove it? But let's be honest, he proved it, bro. He deserves that money.
Yeah.
He really does. He deserves at least 15 mil a year, especially with the going rate of Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is like 16.5 million, right? Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing. He's going to require more than that.
I think it's easy for them to get a deal done for Josh Jacobs, man. And I'm going to tell you why. I think they could lock him up easily, age 24, get him a 5-year deal. Of course, you guys know how these NFL contracts work. It's worth it. It's not everything that it says in the contract. Most of it's in the front of the deal. And they're just trying to get production out of the guy in the first 3 years of that deal and then hope that maybe Josh Jacobs fulfills 5 years. But I'll look at it this way. The Raiders going into the season, and I know I bring this up a lot, but the Derek Carr, the fact that the Raiders could get at Derek Carr's contract for under $6 million told me Derek Carr, and the fact the Raiders did not pick up his 5th-year option, that both were in a contract year. Josh Jacobs earned his contract. He's re-signing with the Raiders this offseason. I think it's no problem. You keep Josh Jacobs, you keep Devontae Adams. This offense they got weapons. You plug in the right quarterback, and we're high flying, dude. You can build around this team. So they're going to re-sign Josh Jacobs, in my personal opinion. And I think it's a good move. And I don't think the Raiders did anything by disrespecting him by not picking up his 5th-year option, because they put him in a contract year. He had the best year of his career, and we have a young rookie who was on that offensive line who is grading out on an all-pro team. And I'll say another thing about our front office real quick. That guy, I believe, was drafted 90th. Would that be 90th in the 3rd round? Well, the all-pro team, he made the 2nd roster, or like the backup position on the all-pro team. Well, that means he's in the top 44 of his draft class. So shout out to Dave Ziegler in drafting Parham. I love that pick, and I've said it all year. And Josh Jacobs had a record year, so I think they're going to re-sign him. You got all these pieces in place. These pieces are in place. So, and I know I'm spreading a lot of optimism, but I always look at the glass half full, man, and I can see them really getting Josh Jacobs the deal that he deserves, and I see him being happy in Las Vegas and continuing to run the football, and hopefully a more smash mouth style football, man, where we're going to see more carries for Josh Jacobs in the near future, because, man, we all love watching the kid. Cheers to Josh Jacobs, man, this offseason. Woo!
Hey, Grimy, some of the chats ask if you could turn your mic up a little bit.
Let me see.
All right, then, this is the off season. It's clickbait central. Oh, go ahead. It sounds okay to me, but I don't know. Some people in the chat were saying that you're a little low. So.
Let me see. Yeah. Huh. Let me see.
But this is the off season. It's like clickbait central. It's all pure speculation. But the other thing going around is possibly Aaron Rodgers wanting to be a Raider. I did want to talk about that. Then we'll get into this beef I got with Raider Critique over here and this bet we got going down. So, so we'll get into that here shortly, So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. But, the Aaron Rodgers rumors is going around where a lot of people saying, Aaron Rodgers might be a Raider and trading him. Now, I'm going to go first here on this topic. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a great quarterback, but not for the kind of money. If he wants, he's making $50 million a year, unless somehow he restructured his contract. And even at that, we'd have to backload the contract, which means we'd be screwed years later on, just like how Tampa Bay owes Tom Brady $35 million, and Tom Brady is a free agent. That's because they backloaded Tom Brady's his contract. So, it's kind of crazy to be a free agent, yet you got to pay a quarterback $35 million. So, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're in cap hell. So, he's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have him on this team. But if we were to pay a contract like that, there ain't going to be no money left. That means, in my opinion, at least, it means no Josh Jacobs. It means, like the areas that we need, at least 1 to 2 offensive linemen, a D tackle, a linebacker, a cornerback, maybe a safety, I think some of that can get filled in the draft, but some of those guys we got to get in free agency. And if we sign a guy like Aaron Rodgers, paying $50 million a year, there just ain't going to be no money left. Maybe 10 mil or something, 10, 15 mil. That's like one player, if that. So in my opinion, dude, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. We're not at a point where we're just a quarterback away. I'd rather get a cheap quarterback, no matter who it is. I take that back. Depending on like a Stidham or something like that, I'd rather draft a quarterback, get somebody cheap, and use that money to build the defense and the offensive line. I think that would go a lot further than paying one player that kind of money. But let's start with you, Raider Critique. Give your take of what you're thinking on this Aaron Rodgers, and if you'd be willing to essentially sacrifice long-term growth for short-term success potentially, and not able to build the defense if you did a signing like that.
Well, when you spend $50 million on a quarterback, what is the point of bringing in a quarterback like that when you know damn well there's so many holes on this team that need to be filled? The offensive line is absolutely shredicated. The defense itself, besides our defensive line, who is actually fairly decent this year, after that, there's really nothing. Our secondary can't seem to stop a nosebleed. Our linebackers, well, we saw what happened with our linebackers. We were depleted. We were running 3 linebackers at the end of the season, the past 3 games, and we were lucky none of those guys got hurt. I just don't see the reason that if we're going to get rid of a $35 million quarterback who potentially could have been making $44 million this year, to save money to build the team to go off and go pick up a guy like Aaron Rodgers who's going to require $50 million to come in here, and then we're not going to be able to build the team. So what's the point of bringing that dude in here when we're a lot more than just a quarterback away? So we pretty much have the same take on it.
I want Aaron Rodgers all day, guys. I told you guys that like a month ago. I'm all about winning football games. Aaron Rodgers a winner. If he fucking says he's going to suit up in silver and black, let me say something about Aaron Rodgers. I know he comes off as a prima donna to the media, but Aaron Rodgers thinks for himself. He makes decisions for himself, and right now he's in that mode where he's going to make a decision for his future. But I'll say one thing. I heard it, and I loved what I heard from Aaron Rodgers, and that is once I'm all in, I'm all in. That's who I want. I want to win the AFC West, and that's that. And my standard is high, and I'm going to keep it high. And I want to win the West, and then I want to win the Super Bowl, because last time I remember, we were in Super Bowl 37, and I'm still waiting. And I hope my mic's working.
It is. It's working great.
I'm still waiting. I want my AFC West title, and I want to face the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. And you know who will do that? Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady.
Not without a fucking defense, they won't.
Those defenses rise up to those off. When you have an offense that's high firing and you have a real leader in that locker room, that defense feeds off that. Max Crosby will be freaking licking his chops when he plays Patrick Mahomes, because they know they ding Mahomes once. Mahomes comes limping. Right now, I believe the Cincinnati Bengals in Kansas City are favored to win this football game, because Patrick Mahomes is gimpy and Joe Burrow so far has shown us he's the real deal. Woo! Give me a Super Bowl. I want Super Bowls. I want to face these. I wish our team was playing right now against the Chiefs. I wish our team, we were 10-7 last year. Why are we 6-11? I want to play this team. I want to beat the Chiefs. I want to beat the shit out of the Chiefs.
Well, I can tell you this, though.
You know, that's all I want. I'm a Raider fan.
When it comes to this, man, every quarterback that was in the playoffs besides Dak Prescott was under the age of 29. All right. And though we already know those guys are playing on their rookie contracts or a lot less than what the hell Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and even Derek Carr was requiring to come play.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
if we did the Aaron Rodgers route, go ahead.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is like I said, I've always liked him. I just always liked the way Green Bay had their formula, with the way they brought in Favre. I mean, they traded to get Favre. Then they drafted Aaron Rodgers. We passed on Aaron Rodgers. We passed on him, dude. And fucking Green Bay drafted him, and Charles Woodson won a Super Bowl with him. And I mean, so like, yeah. I mean, dude, I love this draft for quarterbacks. I'll tell you my favorite quarterback in the draft. I love Anthony Richardson. I've liked the raw ability, the what that guy shows. So I'm all about drafting a quarterback. I've been all about drafting a quarterback. But why couldn't we have drafted a quarterback with Derek Carr, man? That was just my biggest thing. Like, why couldn't we have brought a guy in to play behind Derek Carr and then bring him up? Right now, we have a team right now, man. We have a team right now. We have Devontae Adams. We have Josh Jacobs, who we can easily franchise tag or re-sign him to a deal. We have Darren Waller, who will probably get traded. Green Bay really wants him. And we have some offensive linemen. We have some key pieces in place. We have a full draft still ahead. Ziegler hit that draft, man. We had a lot of undrafted rookies that played this year. And so, man, I seriously think we have a foundation. You know, like Max Crosby, that's a foundational guy, man, that's on the defense. Nate Hobbs could be possibly. I mean, we have Trayvon Merrick. I mean, there's still some key pieces that this team can build around. And it's basically, I'm hoping we're in a reload phase, man. We just get a quarterback in here, plug him in. And, I mean, if you get the right quarterback in that Raider roster, we can win another 10 games next year, man. And I want the Chiefs worried about us.
To Raider Dave's point, so, like, we essentially do have almost a 2-year window with Devontae Adams, because his contract jumps up to $40 million after these next two years. So we're almost in as well as some other guys are on about a 2 more year deal. So it is a pretty short window that we have coming up here. You know what I mean? The Aaron Rodgers route, I think, could work possibly if we don't, have to give up too much to get him. Meaning if we have to sacrifice a bunch of draft picks, I'm not for that. If it was maybe 1 first round like this year, possibly for me at least, I'd possibly consider it. But if it's leveraging like, 2-3 picks and future picks, I personally don't want to do that. It could work if we nail the draft for defense. We'd have to hit this draft hard and nail like a lot of freaking picks if we went that route. But like, here's a great comment. I think I want to get into this one real quick. We got Al's Ghost behind stage. Just be patient with us, Al's Ghost, then we'll get into you. So wouldn't Brady demand big time dollars as well? All right. So my take on this essentially is I don't want Tom Brady if it's more than like 25 million. First of all, I don't want Tom Brady, period. But like if he's willing to do it for cheap, 25 million, I would kick the tires. I would be like, hey, let's evaluate it. Now, he's probably not going to want that little. He's probably going to want the bag like all these guys do. I call them clowns because they're all about the money. They all say they do a team-friendly deal, and then they don't. Not going to get into that shit on this show. But you know what I'm saying? Like Brady might demand and say, hey, if I'm going to play, I want 40 million. If he wants that kind of money, I would tell him to go fuck himself, honestly. So speaking to Tom Brady though, the Brady thing, only if it's a cheap contract, right? Nothing like crazy. So speaking of Tom Brady, all right, let's get into this bet between me and Raider Critique, this beef, all right? All right, so Raider Critique was on here and, essentially got real cocky. I hate Brady too. I hate Brady too. But Raider Critique really hates Brady. I mean, I hate him, but like Raider Critique takes it up to another level. So Raider Critique really, really hates Brady. And I've tried like last few months to get myself mentally around a place where I might be willing to accept him. But we were on a live stream and, Critique was like, spouting off saying Brady will never be a Raider and all this shit. So we kind of made a joking bet at the time where essentially the bet was that Raider Critique was going to wear a Tom Brady jersey if Tom Brady became a Raider. Okay. Now it was a one-sided bet. So the bet wasn't fair at that time. Well, we've decided to negotiate the bet and we're going to present to you guys what the bet is going to be. So here's the deal. The bet is if Tom Brady is a Raider. Now, this doesn't mean I want Tom Brady as a Raider. It just like, to me, I just look at it and it's probably more probable than not, when I've looked at the data, and I'll do another video on it later down the road. So in this bet, here's what's going to go down, guys. If Tom Brady becomes a Raider, my homie Raider Critique has to wear a Tom Brady jersey on for a live stream show, and it's got to be backwards. So you got to see Brady right fucking here the entire show. So his ass going to be looking like a fucking clown wearing Tom Brady jersey that he loves, and he's going to learn to love if Tom Brady becomes a Raider. And on the flip side, so here's what I got to do if Tom Brady does not become a Raider. And then we'll let Raider Dave explain the third option, which is if he wasn't a Raider. So, all right, go ahead, Raider Critique. What you got?
Because it ain't gonna fucking happen. Tom Brady is not coming to this team. Absolutely fucking not. Over my dead body. That motherfucker don't need to be here at all. As a matter of fact, if anything, all the years that he trolled us, how anybody could even possibly think, even Mark Davis's bowl cut himself would even think about bringing this motherfucker in here. Man, Al Davis has got to be rolling in his grave. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about Al, bro, and I don't believe Tom Brady's going to even think about touching the obvious, which is he can't win without, or Josh McDaniels can't win without him. Nobody wants him here, all right? The only one who might possibly want him here are these new fake-ass fans that we got going on, and also people who don't know the history of what goes on when Raider Nation has to talk about Tom Brady. And let's be real about it, man. Having Tom Brady come to this team is like re-signing Antonio Brown, which is where my bet comes in. If Tom Brady doesn't come onto this team, and I wind up being correct about this, Hardcore is going to have to wear an Antonio Brown jersey backwards with Brown right there across his chest. And he's going to have to be like that whole life. So we figured that this would be a perfect bet for the both of us. I mean, Tom Brady is the only one who's really ever made me cry for football. You know what I mean? When that tuck rule happened, I don't try to get too damn emotional about this, but I know Antonio Brown left a lot of sour tastes in all of Raider Nation's mouth. So why not? I mean, it's very disrespectful to any of us to even think about having Tom Brady on this team, but it's also pretty damn respectful to even think about wearing an Antonio Brown jersey. So that's what hardcore is going to wind up having to do. And you know what? I've already got the jerseys on order because, of course, I order them through Raider Nation. I don't order them through the corporate bigot NFL. You know what I mean? So I got our homeboy, Adam Raider Mayo, who is getting our jerseys ready. They'll be ready by mid-February. I will have your Tom Brady jersey sent to you, hardcore. We'll all have your Antonio Brown jersey here with me. And then, of course, whenever it winds up on what moves we're going to make is when we'll go ahead and put them on.
You got to send me the Antonio Brown one, and you got to keep the Brady one.
Vice versa.
And then get and then rock your Vontez when you guys talk it out. Rock your Vontez Perfect jersey on, dude. You're getting Raider style.
Hey, so
Vontez Perfect.
Terrence had a good comment. He said, Jamarcus Russell, hey, we thought about that, right? Because this was a one-sided bet again, right? Because, Raider Critique was like, spouting off, and I was like, you better be ready for it when we did the live stream. And I'm like, oh, you want to bet, you'll wear Tom Brady Raider jersey. So, it's kind of funny, but if you guys think about it, man, the two players that are probably hated most by Raider Nation, at least the last 5 years plus or so, is probably Antonio Brown and Tom Brady, right? I mean, there's no bigger guys that I hate than Tom Brady and Antonio Brown. So either way, the loser, however this goes down, is going to be wearing a clown jersey because we got to wear this shit backwards, guys, the whole show, right? We got to wear these motherfuckers' names because on the back, that doesn't really count. They just see the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So we got to wear this shit backwards the entire fucking show. So I'm excited, dude. I can't wait till Raider Critique is wearing a Tom Brady jersey backwards the entire show, man. And then you know what? If I lose, I'm gonna be looking like a clown with Antonio Brown. So either way, man, we both gonna be looking like some jackasses on here, wearing some jerseys on backwards. But if Brady retires, that's the flip side. All right, what's the deal if Brady retires, Raider Dave? And Raider Dave's the mediator to make sure this shit goes down.
If Brady retires, that would cancel the deal. That would just cancel the deal.
No, what do we talk about? What do we talk about though, right?
I thought if he retires, it cancels the deal.
We both got to wear both jerseys, but not backwards.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, then you guys
right. We'll just wear them frontwards.
I'm just saying, if he retires, let me just say something about the Brady thing, dude. This rumor's been going on for 3 years. I've never really talked about this. This rumor, because it's been a fucking rumor for 3 years, guys. We're still talking about Tom Brady since 2020 being a Raider. So I'm going to be real about it, dude. If fucking Brady comes to the Raiders, I support him. If Aaron Rodgers comes to the fucking Raiders, I support him. There's my take. For fucking 3 years, we've been talking about Tom Brady coming to the Raiders. Has he sat down ever in the Raiders headquarters and fucking had a contract negotiation? Or we've heard from Dana White. All we got is these rumors for 3 years straight.
Yeah, but before the dead
Mahomes
money
is in the AFC Championship game.
But the difference is before I didn't buy it because the dead money we would have hit on Derek Carr was too much. Now it's a whole different ball game. But
Carr's contract expired this year. We fulfilled.
Yeah, I'm saying this go around. This go around is different because of the Carr's contract. Before 2 years ago, I didn't buy it because the dead money the Raiders would have ate. It was just too much. It wouldn't financially wouldn't have made sense to bring on Brady.
But what I'm saying is, whether people are buying it or not, they've been talking about it for 3 years straight.
Yeah, but 3 years ago, I didn't buy it. Other people bought it because that's how people are.
I've seen Tom Brady.
Because I've looked at the contracts.
I've seen Tom Brady in a Raider jersey on social media for 3 years straight.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I never bring it up.
I'm not saying
if
you're
he
wrong.
does come to the Raiders, we're competing with Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, so be it. All right, let's bring in Al's Ghost here. Let's see what he thinks of this bet.
But I will.
Shout out to Al's. Oh, go ahead.
I will give it this though, and you said it best, hardcore, because you did say it. What is the one thing that Tom Brady has not done? And this is actually kind of for Tom Brady coming here, because there's only one thing that Tom Brady hasn't done. He's won championships, and you said it best, bro. What is the best way to end your career out than to come on a team where its fan base absolutely can't stand you and hates your guts to come in and win them over? That's the only thing that I could see that he would actually want to do to complete his career.
Yeah, and no quarterbacks ever won with 3 different teams. Al's Go, shout out to you, brother. How you doing, man? What do you think of this bet between me and Raider Critique?
What's up, Hardcore? Hey, what's up, Raider Dave? Critique.
What up,
What's up,
dude?
guys? Always nice seeing you guys and hearing you guys chat. I mean, it's a hell of a bet. I think I'm just gonna be, right neutral in the middle because I want to be friends with both of you guys. So I'll just watch you guys like arm wrestle. But I mean, in my personal preference, in terms of like the whole, quarterback situation, I know we're in limbo for the next several weeks in terms of figuring out, where our team stands with the most important position on the team. I
Mhm.
personally wouldn't want Tom Brady. Obviously, there's a whole Tuck rule history that I think underlies a lot of the reason why I wouldn't want him here. But most importantly, the guy's going to be 46, going on, I think he's 45, going on 46. Father Time is undefeated. And if we're really talking about building the Raiders into a sustainable winner for the future, you don't build it off the back of a 45, 46-year-old quarterback. My personal preference would be you ride with Stiddy, maybe draft a quarterback. I would actually draft the highest ranked, highest rated defensive lineman in the draft at number 7. I would just like stay put there. I actually wish Raider Dave sold some of that positivity in a pill or a bottle because I would like buy a shit ton of that, Raider Dave,
What
because I'm
what what,
not.
what you need? You need positivity and optimism. Tell me more, bro. Tell me more, because I got a lot for you here. I got a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, I'm pretty old school when it comes to analyzing football and thinking about football and specifically what it takes to win football games. And in a nutshell, I think that the tried and true way to win football games is in the trenches. And when I step
Yes,
back and
absolutely.
yeah, and when I step back and look at our offensive and defensive lines, I see holes all over the place. So
I
number
don't.
one, number one on the
Go ahead.
offensive line, I think we have 2 starters. I think we have Colton Miller and we have Dylan Parham. I don't think that this staff is actually sold on Andre James. I saw a report from Vic Tafer saying that they're actually thinking of moving Parham over to center. And so that signals to me that, hey, they're going to rebuild and maybe get a couple new guards. And obviously, our right tackle has been a question mark for the better part of 2 years. So that's the offensive line. And then on the defensive side, it's essentially a one-man show with Max Crosby. I know we have a couple of guys in Neil Farrell and Butler who were drafted, and they didn't play too much, and they flashed here and there when they played. But
Mhm.
frankly, it's a one-man show on the defensive side, and we probably have 2 starters on the offensive side of the line, on the offensive line. So I basically see 2 depleted lines, frankly. And when I step back and look, I was watching playoff football this weekend, guys, and part of me was, excuse me, it was a bit of an eye opener because it was a realization of how far our team is actually from playing deep into January. I look at teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, like the Niners, etc. These guys are just stacked. And where are they stacked? They're stacked on the defensive line, on the offensive line. The Eagles guys, every all of their 4 down linemen have double-digit sacks. All of their 4 down linemen. And I actually, for a second, don't believe that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr had a crappy year last year, and I know we're past the Derek Carr situation, and he's going to go to another team. But Jalen Hurts is operating behind a monster offensive line, and it goes to show the importance of having elite offensive and defensive line play. I'll let you respond, Dave.
Cool. I'm in 100% agreement with you, dude. Build in the trenches. You know what? We can do that in this one draft, dude. I want to know your confidence with Dave Ziegler, dude, and what he did just alone last year in the draft. I think that can be completely corrected in this draft with a first round pick, second round pick, possibly more earlier round picks, like another first round pick, possibly, depending on what we get in trade value, with Derek Carr on the trading block. So, and I do think they're going to trade Derek Carr. I think they're going to get value for Derek Carr because that once that starts heating up, once those talks start heating up, that's when value starts to take its role because Derek's Carr value will go up. So I think we're going to get more draft picks, and I think we're going to build heavily in the trenches. And I'm all for doing that in the first round. I'm all for drafting a quarterback. What I'm saying is, if we get one of these veterans that have been proven, like an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady, not saying they should do that. I'm saying if we do, I'm confident this offseason that we'll be fucking dealing with Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, dude. I'm confident. And I'll tell you why, because I know these are old quarterbacks, but there's a confidence level in the game. And you said old school. I'm old school, dude. Now, with old school comes mentality. 15% physical, or what was it? What they always say? 85% mental, 15% physical. It's the mental state. Confidence feeds from the leaders, man. And the quarterback. And I give Josh McDaniels credit for his criticism on Derek Carr. He threw the ball right back in Carr's fucking lane, and he said, "Hey, dude, you touched the ball 48% of the plays. You need to take blame." So the quarterback is the biggest. That is the general of the offense. And I know the trenches are key. When we saw the Chiefs and Niners game, we got destroyed in the trenches. That's why those games were that especially that Chiefs game was ugly. We got destroyed. But at that time, did the team give up? So plugging in a veteran, I'm all for. Giving up too much draft capital. I don't think they would have to give up too much draft capital for Aaron Rodgers. So I think that's something that's workable. Depending on how they negotiate it. But man, I think you get one of those two quarterbacks just for a year. I think we could possibly, make some noise in the AFC West, man. Or in the playoffs.
I hope. I was just going to say, Dave, I hope you're right, dude. I hope you're right. And just like a quick comment, we're in what's called like quarterback purgatory right now. Hopefully we're not, but right now, as of January 24th, 2023, we're in quarterback purgatory, right? We don't know who the quarterback is going to be. And as a Derek Carr guy and hardcore knows this, I'm actually all in favor for what's better for the team.
Absolutely.
I don't think a single player is above the shield. The shield is number one, first and foremost. And I think Ziegler and McDaniels really, really shit the bed guys when it came to the quarterback position, because midway through the season, actually, I'll back up, guys. The way that they structured this contract for Derek Carr, it actually showed to me that they weren't committed to him, right? It was essentially like a prove it deal, as Dave mentioned.
It was a prove it deal.
It was a prove it deal, right? But if you weren't totally convinced with this guy, you could have actually traded him before the year and gotten prime draft capital. There was rumor, right, that the Colts were offering 2 first-round picks for the guy. And now we're in a position. I actually disagree, Dave. I don't think we're going to trade him. I don't think Carr is going to agree to a trade. I don't think he's going to want to weaken his new team by having his new team give up draft capital. And he's not going to want to, benefit the Raiders, dude. It's his ex-girlfriend. He doesn't want to help him out, right? So I think we're in a position where a trade, I would say, is probably like less than 5% chance, dude. Literally.
So I'm gonna kind of jump off that because I totally agree with what you're saying, and everything that you're saying is spot on, dude. Now check this out, though. Even though Derek Carr has a no trade clause, we got to remember one thing: this NFL is a business and it's a union, dude. There's a lot of advisors in Derek Carr's corner, and they're telling him, dude, put your emotions aside right now. That's why Derek Carr's not jumping on people's podcasts. That's why he doesn't want to talk about it, because reality just kicked in. And in the NFL, it does, and this is fact. There are teams of lawyers and there are teams of advisors who are going to be in Derek Carr's corner saying, "Hey, dude, if the Raiders get a realistic offer for Derek Carr, there are like, I mean, it's to keep the union tight and to keep the league good. Derek Carr is going to possibly be forced into accepting like a deal. You can't just turn away. I mean, I think his contract, what's remaining on his new contract, that if once it kicks in February 15th, I want to say 130 or like 120 to 140 million, somewhere like that. Dude, there's teams out there that will pay that, and I'm going to throw it out there right now, man. I'm going to throw it out there because I don't get on here and talk a lot. I think the Raiders get a first-round pick and a conditional third round pick. I think they get a first and a third for Derek Carr, and I think that third-round pick could be a conditional second depending on how he starts in the season. Like if he starts all 16 games and gets a team to the playoffs, I think there could be a conditional pick involved. But I'm going to put that on the table right now that I think the Raiders get real good draft capital in return for Derek Carr. I felt that all the way. He's a quarterback. He's a serviceable quarterback. He doesn't get hurt. And man, I mean, and I think the Falcons. I mean, there's just teams out there, man. They'd be talking about the South. The South was a team that a division that I was watching the entire time, and the NFC South, man, it's heating up over there with like I don't know. Atlanta's always been a team in question. You know, they got a lot of draft capital. Derek Carr can play indoors.
Right.
Things like that. Some of these rumors to the Jets, I don't know, but yeah, man. And like I said, ownership and like when it comes to Mark Davis and ownership, man, ownership will always be a problem in the NFL.
I hope you're right, Dave. Just real quick, hardcore. I was gonna say, if you're looking at individual players on a team or just in the league, across the league. And let's say we shouldn't be looking at these people this way because they're human beings at the end of the day. But if you're looking at each player as an individual business, it's like the stock market, right? When is the stock the highest for these players? And you look at Derek Carr last year, coming off of throwing for over 4,800 yards, leading the team to the playoffs under very, very terrible circumstances. That's when his stock was the highest. And now he threw for 3,500 yards. That stock ain't so high, and I think the Raiders lost leverage. Whereas compared to JJ, right? JJ's stock is at an all-time high now, right? I mean, he led the league in rushing, over 2,000 all-purpose yards. Like, that guy's stock is through the roof. Derek Carr's stock is plummeting. It plummeted this season. So that's why I don't think we get a first or a third. I hope you're right, Dave. Like, I really hope you're right. I think our core was getting in on this.
I think the fact that he started games is enough, man, and didn't get hurt this year is enough for a team to make that move.
Well, speaking of compensatory picks, though, you know what I mean? Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this video, man. Right. Let's start talking.
Yeah, I'm personally done talking about Derek Carr. I'm just ready to move forward. But you know what? This is what's great because we can all have different opinions. We don't have to agree on this shit. I think we probably release him. I don't know, dude. We'll see what happens when everything's said and done. You know, I've talked about it too much. I've pissed off people. I've lost a few subscribers for like fucking. I'm emotional, guys. I'm hardcore Raider, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I haven't talked in like almost 3 years on my podcast, on my platform. And dude, I read a lot of news, dude. And like I said, dude, every time I read it, I go, oh shit. And then something else happens, dude. It's like everybody off season. Oh, what do you think of Derek Carr's contract? What do you think of Derek Carr's contract? And then first thing I said was, I'm like, they're going to get it. They could, if he doesn't win us 10 games this year, watch him get cut. And that's what I said because it showed it. The language is in the contract. Not only that, one thing we talked about earlier, let's not forget if they did have to release Derek Carr, they still don't lose 5.6 million. They lose the 5.7 or 5.6 million, but they also have cap rollover from last year's offseason that's going to roll over. So they actually gain $1 million. So Ziegler and McDaniels have this thing structured what's best for the team. And that's what I'm cool with. I'm cool with that.
Don't forget about the YouTube money that they just fucking panned in on too, which is going to raise the salary cap. All right. They just sold like $1 billion to YouTube, bro.
Is that the NFL Sunday Ticket now that's going to be on YouTube where they're going to generate?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Yep. I read about that. But yeah, man, no, I love, and like I said, but just remember, I'm an old school fan, man. I want to win AFC West titles. I've stressed that. And the standard is high. Beat the Chiefs. Beat the shit out of Andy Reid. They make halftime adjustments. Fucking Patrick Mahomes' leg looked like it was gone. On freaking, like he looked like he looked like his knee was dislocated. I guess it was his ankle, but he was hobbling around, and he's that important for his team. After fucking Chad Henne comes in and leads a 97-yard drive, you know, Patrick Mahomes made sure his ass got back in the game to win that game. I mean, dude, we gotta get on that level. We gotta get on that level.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, I think a lot of this, like, you know, no matter what quarterback we look at, guys, like Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay would eat $40 million, you know, if they trade him. If you look at guys like freaking Ryan Tannehill for the Titans would eat like 18 million. If you look at Mac Jones for the Patriots, they'd eat 15 million. So in my opinion, yeah, could these guys always cut these guys, trade and move on? Yeah, but it depends if that team's willing to take that kind of hit. So no other year was I like, oh, well, you know, we're going to get Tom Brady or whatever instead of Derek Carr, because the finances did not make sense. It doesn't make sense to eat that much money, dude. You know what I mean? Some teams will do it, but I'm not in that camp, dude. I try to look at this shit analytically, and we need a lot. I mean, someone in here, I forget who it was, but shout out to everybody in the chat. Someone said something essentially about we have so many holes on this team. And you're right, guys. We do. We need 1 to 2 offensive linemen. We need a D tackle. We need a linebacker. We need a cornerback. I mean, it's crazy how much this team needs. Plus, we need to hit in the draft, right? I'm just talking about, like, say, free agents that we need to hit some studs. And there ain't going to be enough money to go around, especially if we sign Jacobs. We get one of these stud quarterbacks. I don't know. So it's hard to say what direction this team is going to go. I'd almost be, you know, more leaning to maybe we go with the Stidham route, right? And draft a quarterback or something like that, or trade back. You know, Hendon Hooker might be available in the second round. Once the Hendon Hooker gets his leg healthy, he might be one of the super studs of this draft. You guys got to remember, Hendon Hooker, he was in the running for, you know, the Heisman Trophy, you know, until he got hurt. So, and Tennessee was balling out, guys. So, that could be a sneaky pick that falls in the draft. So, there's options, guys. We're not, we all have different opinions. That's what makes panels like this great. It's like, hopefully you don't get personal. Sometimes my emotions get the best of me, but if you guys are just tuning in, I just want to say real quick, me and Raider Critique made a bet. Okay. Not because I want Tom Brady to be a Raider, but the bet is if Brady becomes a Raider, then Raider Critique has to wear a Tom Brady jersey on backwards. So you're going to see Brady right here, right? And then if Tom Brady doesn't become a Raider, I got to wear an Antonio Clown jersey on backwards. So you're going to see Brown right here. So both are pretty humiliating. We'll see how this shit goes down. But so we got that shit on order. That's going to happen. So as soon as we find out for surely what the fuck's going to happen, we'll dig into that. But Al's Ghost, want to get your opinion on this, and then as well as Raider Dave, Raider Critique. So hang tight. Let me kind of jump into this. So kind of set this up as we roll into this. So, something I think that Raider Nation has not talked enough about is like the game plan of compensatory picks. Okay. Raider Dave's going to kind of break this down pretty good. He knows quite a bit of like knowledge on this matter, but I want to kind of break down how teams get compensatory picks. Okay. As well as potential of what the Raiders could get this year for compensatory picks. So the point is this, guys, when we hear Dave Ziegler talking about they presented the plan to Mark Davis and all this shit and the long-term growth that they're trying to win now, but also long-term growth, I want you guys to really think deep and hard about this compensatory picks, and I'll let Raider Dave talk about the Patriots and some of that, and I'll save that for him. So, all right, I'm going to open this up here. Give me a second so I click over to the other screen. Patient with me here. All right, so what are compensatory picks? Not gonna read that part. I'm just gonna read this section here, and there's one section essentially I want to kind of highlight. You know what I mean? So the formula that determines whether or not a player falls under the compensatory free agency CFA status, which defines such a player who has signed with a club during the prior free agency, right? So not this free agency, but the year before. Okay, the prior free agency signing period. Before 4 p.m. Eastern on the Monday following the most recent draft, or whose rights were retained by a prior franchise by tendering the unrestricted free agent, and a player who ranked within the top 35% of all NFL players according to the average yearly compensation, with additional points assigned based on postseason honors earned with or participation, total snaps played. Clubs who have lost more CFAs right here. All right. Clubs who have lost more CFAs than they have signed or acquire are eligible to receive compensatory picks. So this is a good highlight area, right? Clubs who have lost more CFAs than they have signed or acquired are eligible to receive compensatory picks. So essentially what this is saying is you got to get rid of more players than you're signing in free agency. Okay. Transition tag or franchise tag players who receive offer sheet and whose offer sheet is not matched and tagging franchise to not qualify as compensatory free agents. All right. So there's a lot of mumbo jumbo in there. The main thing is think of it like this. You got to dump more players than you get rid of. Okay. That's going to be my generic answer. I'm not saying it's 100% accurate. But think about it like that. And then when are compensatory picks awarded? I believe it's going to be March this year. Okay. Again, I'll save some of this for Raider Dave to dig into, because he's got a really good take on it. And then, all right, so we're going to click on this one right here. This is an article from a while back talking about the Raiders and, our potential for our compensatory picks for this draft, but it's for the following free agency year. So guys that we got rid of last year: Marcus Mariota, Zay Jones, Casey Hayward, Quentin Jefferson, and then, key free agent additions: Chandler Jones, Bilal Nichols, Anthony Everett. So this is saying, and this is a few weeks old, so this actually could have changed, but one in the 5th round, 6th round, one in the 7th round is what they're projecting. Okay. This is all subject to change. So keep that in mind. So this is what they're saying on NFL Network or NFL.com about the Raiders' potential compensatory picks. That when the final tallies were counted, the Raiders lost 6 qualifying free agents and signed 3. So remember what I said, you have to get rid of more players than you're signing, right? So the final tallies were counted. The Raiders lost 6 qualifying free agents, signed 3. The signing of Jones cancels the departure of Mariota. Zay Jones' exit will bring either a 5th or 6th rounder. He played in the playoffs. That might increase a little bit, but depending on his playing time this season, the loss to Jefferson to Seattle should secure Las Vegas with a 6th rounder. Nicholas Moreau signed with Chicago, is scheduled to bring a 7th rounder, provided he makes the Bears playing time. All right, so here's I guess the main point I want to get into, right? Before we get into Raider Dave's take and then everybody else's. So when I look at this coaching staff and this regime, and I've been critical of them, you know what I mean? My take is this, okay? Either these guys are complete fucking morons, right? Meaning Ziegler and McDaniels, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, or they know exactly what they're doing, and this actually might work out to be a really fucking smart move, okay? And, you know, when you think about it, and because see, us as Raider Nation, we're sitting here, we're scratching our heads. We're seeing guys get like either traded or like not traded maybe, but like let go and shit for near nothing. And we're sitting here like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Why would they get rid of so many players last year and also this year? Okay, there's some guys this year they've gotten rid of. And to me, when I look at the compensatory picks, it's more than just like, oh, you're getting extra picks and this. You have to shit can more players than you are going to sign in free agency, right? When you look at that formula, I'm going to bounce it into Raider Dave right here and get his take on it, because it's a formula that has worked for some other organizations and whatnot. But Raider Dave, what do you got to say on compensatory picks and the Raiders? Essentially, maybe they had a vision of dumping more guys than they signed for this move that we're going to see here right now, going in this draft, getting comp picks.
So as far as comp picks goes, man, I mean, we've always been on the end of signing free agents every offseason excited. We signed so-and-so. We picked up so-and-so. So we never really had too much luxury when it comes to the compensatory picks. But the NFL has this formula in place for I think 35 years now, maybe going back like 40 years. Leroy Glover being one of the guys we got on a comp pick years ago that everybody remembers. But comp picks, man, are in place, in my personal opinion, the way that NFL has this formula is to create parity in the league, man. So, you know, you have teams that value draft picks and you have teams that value free agents, and they got to reload or rebuild, one of those two. So, you know, I don't think like as far as the way Ziegler did this offseason, man, I felt like they were pretty aggressive last offseason. They did a great job. They get a few comp picks this year. Now this year, I'll make a prediction right now. I don't think we're going to make splashes in free agency that we're quite used to in the past. I think this year we sign less free agents and we focus more on the draft. And then next year, we might see a whole new load of like possibly 4 compensatory picks come in the following year. So I love this plan. You know what I mean? I love the fact that, you know, they're building in the draft. I mean, the way they drafted last year from the 3rd round on, and the way those draft picks played out this year told me a lot about this front office, man, and that, you know, we're going back to what we did with Reggie McKenzie, man. We're drafting guys. I know everybody was like, oh, but Reggie missed in the 2nd round. But Reggie still found foundational pieces that were on this roster, you know, all the way to this year with Derek Carr. So, yeah, man, I love the fact that we're actually taking advantage of the formula in the compensatory draft, because you know, you can always rebuild this thing. I mean, 3rd round picks, 4th round picks, those are good value, dude. And like, for instance, like last year, like the Patriots, they're the best example of this formula because they take advantage of it. And of course, Ziegler coming from that area, you know, they have the education behind it. So like last year, J.C. Jackson, one of the most coveted free agents last year, signs with the Chargers. I think he got hurt like week 2 or week 3. He missed pretty much the entire season. And the Patriots are getting a 3rd round pick. They're projected to get a 3rd round pick. Now, with comp picks, though, it seems like, you know, it's still, you know, like even NFL writers right now, they don't know they just have projected picks. So, like, as far as the formula goes, there's still a lot of other things behind the scenes, how the NFL works that out. So nobody really knows. But like right now, you're seeing the projected comp picks. They'll make that official, of course, when they announce it in their article, I think, that he posted. But, you know, but that's just the clarity on that. But yeah, man, but yeah, I'm excited for that stuff, man. I mean, who doesn't want more draft picks? I mean, you got to think of it like, man, all these free agents over years, man, when these guys get money, sometimes they, you know, you don't get the same performance that they had in their rookie contract in that first 4 years of their deal, man. So, you know, so man, I'm excited to have 11. If I think we're projected 11 draft picks, I'm excited for that, dude. I mean, this guy drafted from the 3rd round on last year, dude, and all those guys played this year. And you know, like I said, man, I know this year was tough going 6-11, man, but we saw some things out of Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams that tells me, man, you got skill set positions right now into play, man. And like we were talking with Al Ghost, man, this draft you could easily build in the trenches, dude. And one other thing I want to say though about the NFL, you can build a team overnight in the NFL. You can build a Super Bowl contender overnight in the NFL these days. Just saying.
Well,
Just
like
saying.
when it comes down to the college
Apagasi
players,
Raider, what up? Sorry, I want to say
there's
what
a
up.
lot of dude. There is a lot of badass players in college right now who don't even get looked at. You know, and to be honest with you, to have the compensatory picks, you know what I mean, and giving these players an opportunity to come into the NFL, it sets a fire up underneath these guys. You know what I mean? To make them want to play better, to come on a franchise and pretty much be a walk-on because they weren't going to get drafted, you know, before, you know, without this compensatory pick system. So and also, let's go ahead and break down what players we should possibly get compensatory picks for. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the first one out there, one that I know of for sure. That really, honestly, we're getting lucky even having this dude, even getting a compensatory pick out of him is Nicholas Morrow.
Yeah, we're getting a 7th. I think they have a projected 7th this year for Nicholas Morrow. You know what's crazy about Nicholas Morrow? He was a 7th round pick. Wasn't he a 6th or 7th? Or maybe he was a 5th. But Reggie McKenzie drafted him. I liked him right out the gate, dude. I'm a fan of Reggie McKenzie, man. You know, I'm happy that we're replacing, you know, I'm all for this. I want to see Dave Ziegler replace John Gruden's draft picks. How does that sound?
Here's the thing I want to say.
See that,
like,
dude. Alex Leatherwood is trash, dude. We drafted Alex Leatherwood, bro, for real, dude.
Right.
I mean, you guys realize Christian Darrisaw was on the draft board. I mean,
so
seriously,
what we're talking
we got to
about,
rebuild. We got to do the right shit. I'm all for Dave Ziegler, baby.
All right, so
I want to win the AFC West.
Here's what
My
we're talking
standard
about.
is high.
We're talking about the Patriot way versus like what the Raiders have done. Obviously, what the Raiders have done the last 15, 20 years has been terrible, okay? So we don't have any body of work to judge anything off of if this is actually going to work, okay? But to me, the best leaders adjust their leadership style to bring out the best in the team. If Ziegler came in here knowing that he had to dump players to get these compensatory picks, I don't know if I exactly agree with that. I know their plan, right? I can see it, okay? I know what you're saying. It could work. I'm just not sure that they went into this thing the right way, essentially, because to me, when I look at it, I'm looking at this like they purposely wanted to like deconstruct this team to get comp picks, and it could work out long term, but short term, we're going to suck. I'm not saying all these guys are studs, so don't get me wrong. It's not like these guys they got rid of were like necessarily going to be super studs or anything like that. But at the same time, like if we look at the Patriot way, the reason why it worked and it's worked is because they already had replacements that they had already trained for years prior to releasing guys. We've seen Patriots let go guys where you're just like scratching your head because you knew it was like a super stud, but they did it to get these compensatory pick guys. So when I evaluate it, I'm trying to look at both sides of the coin, right? And part of it pisses me off because I'm like, they purposely wanted to deconstruct the team. I'm not going to say like necessarily tank, but they definitely wanted to go get those compensatory picks. Now you can get those contracts for cheaper. Absolutely. Draft picks versus paying guys. So that's the positive, but it can take a long time to get those fucking projects to work out. So Al's Ghost, what do you think about these comp picks? What do you think their game plan was? Do you like this? If that was their game plan to essentially clean house to get comp picks, or where do you stand when you kind of think about this in a deep dive analytical standpoint?
Yeah, I actually have to be critical about Ziegler and some of the moves that he's made because now we're entering into, I think, a stage of the team or a stage in the team building process where I think their plan all the way was actually to go scorched earth and clean house. And they didn't do that last year. And I think they should have taken steps to go ahead and do that so they could build this team in their image. So, for instance, I question a number of decisions, and this may actually open up a can of worms in a debate, but let me preface what I'm going to say by stating that Devontae Adams is a top 3, probably the best wide receiver in the entire NFL, right?
Yeah.
He grew up a Raider fan. He's excellent off the field, on the field, leadership, excellent player, basically everything that you want out of a player, right? And I'm happy that he's a Raider. But if you step back and actually look at this through the lens of team building, the question that I have is, does it make sense to pay essentially prime draft capital? You gave up a first and a second for Devontae Adams. and then you ended up paying him top dollar, knowing that you have lots of needs all over your team. You got one elite player with a bunch of holes on the team. So I actually like questioned that move, even though we got an elite wide receiver, a guy that recently just broke Tim Brown's records, right? Tim Brown's franchise records. I questioned Ziegler offering a 31, 32-year-old pass rusher in Chandler Jones a $51 million contract and not making it an incentive-based contract. Like, hey, $6-7 million base, you get an extra 3-4 mil if you get X number of sacks, if you make the Pro Bowl, if you make an All-Pro team, et cetera, et cetera. So I see a lot of first-time GM mistakes with the way that Ziegler built this team, drafting 2 running backs last year who hardly played, Zamir White and the other guy, and then having Sincere McCormick on the practice squad. Just a lot of questionable decisions, I think, on Ziegler's part on how he actually built this team. So now I see they're loading up on that draft capital, and they're going to go all out, I think, in the draft to try to, ramp up this roster and get as many players, as many Patriot-type players, because frankly, like, let's be honest, it's the Las Vegas Patriots, even though it's the Las Vegas Raiders, they're trying to build this thing like the Patriots. And I want to be hopeful, and I'm actually like a very, very positive person in my real life, but I also have to look at the track records of the 2 guys who are steering the ship. We have a 45-game sample for Josh McDaniels. He's 17 and 20 or 17 and 28. He's 17 and 28 as a head coach. So that's our head coach. And we learned this year that our head coach doesn't know how to close out games. And he especially doesn't know how to close out games in which we're winning by double digits. And now we also have a first-time GM in Dave Ziegler, who has, as early as like 12, 13 years ago, he was an extra on Law and Order and like a couple other TV shows, and he was doing high school counseling. And in addition to that, and again, I'm not trying to be a downer, if we look at the history of the Patriots, guys, where has the Patriot way been replicated? I'm still looking for answers and for samples of successful samples where the Patriot way has actually been replicated. I know Brian Dable has some success this year with the Giants, and I'm happy for that. But this Patriot way hasn't really worked anywhere outside of New England. So that leads, as an evidence-based guy, that leads me to believe that this is the type of program that you can't replicate outside of New England. This is Bill Belichick, and you can't replicate that dude's program anywhere else. So,
and it took years for them to be able to do what they're doing, right, with the comp picks and stuff. But hey, guys, this is what makes this channel unique, right? This is the Hardcore Raider Nation podcast. We bring other people on, all different kinds of people with different opinions. We don't have to agree. I actually like it when we don't agree, because if we all agreed,
if we all agreed, we'd be tools.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like this is what it should be about. That we all have an opinion and we should be able to express it and hopefully not get personal. I know my emotions get the best of me sometimes, but go ahead, Raider Dave. I want to hear what you were going to say.
Well, here's the thing, man. The NFL's a copycat league. We know that, dude. If one team does something, another team's going to copy it, and it does work sometimes. Now, the Patriot way, they have their own way of doing things, and the Patriot way really isn't even working right now. But I'm just curious, like, this is a league, man. The free agency started 30 plus years ago, dude. And like, even before that, Lyle Alzado was a Denver Bronco, right? I mean, fucking played for the Raiders, won us the Super Bowl. Wasn't Jim Plunkett a #1 overall pick for the New England Patriots? Wasn't Rich Gannon drafted as a safety who became a quarterback in the league, who played for the Chiefs, and then we acquired him? I remember when everybody was pissed when we got Rich Gannon. Look, dude, the last time we had Rich Gannon, we won 3 Wests. Man, I just want to bring the standard back to here, dude. The standard needs to be here. Man, I miss going to games in 2002 when the ticket lines were down literally wrapped around the Coliseum because everybody got paid and had to go get tickets. Now everybody just goes and fucking flashes an $800 ticket like it's nothing and toast fucking pops champagne in the fucking Arizona Cardinals game and starts celebrating on halftime. And fucking here we are at 6-11. Dude, we need to win the AFC West. It's urgent. It's been 20 years, 21 years. That's my standard. I even saw in the chat some guys saying, oh, we don't need the West. We need to win Super Bowls. How do we jump over that and just win Super Bowl? I'm just curious. Like all of a sudden we're going to win Super Bowls, but we're not going to win the West. We need to get this thing in order. And we need to start fucking getting a winning mentality. And
Okay,
that is, if your ass gets cut, that's because you couldn't make the team. Now, I'm not saying Josh McDaniels is the answer, but we're definitely in a limbo phase right now. We're in a limbo phase, man, where this team's in a transition. And once again, if they do make the right moves, anything can happen in the NFL, and any team can really light it up overnight. Teams change overnight, man. We saw that with Tampa Bay and Tom Brady just alone. We see that all the time in the NFL, man. These teams change overnight, man. Jacksonville made it to the playoffs this year. By the way, the Chargers gave up a 27-point lead. Is Brandon Staley trying to throw games over there in LA now? I mean, so we have to really just focus on the positive on our end, man, and focus on winning, man. Focus on our number one slogan: just win, baby. If you don't
I completely
win,
agree.
You're
Hey,
out
Dave.
if you don't win.
Dave, I completely agree. Like, we need to win the AFC West. And I also agree, like, teams change overnight, especially with free agency and the draft. There's a lot of roster turnover. But frankly, over the past 2 decades, we're like one of the few teams in the NFL that hasn't changed for the better. We've had a couple of winning seasons in the past couple of decades. And a lot of that, in my opinion, is due to the inherent instability in our organization over the past several decades, right? So I was talking
100%, brother.
I was talking to a friend who's also a Raider fan just a couple days ago, and I was telling him, in terms of instability, our team really takes the cake. As of 2 years ago, like, we literally like didn't have a stable home. Like, that's how unstable our organization has been, right? Oakland, LA, back to Oakland, now in Las Vegas. Like, which other like serious stable organization has like moved even geographically, right? As much as us.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the coaching changes, the GM changes, all of the influx of all the different people in the front office that have changed over time. I actually want to say, guys, I don't want to come off as like a Ziegler and McDaniels hater. I actually want to make it very clear. I don't believe in the guys, but like, I support them and I want them to be successful. And I actually don't think that the right move is to fire them, because something that we're really good at, and we'll take like an A+ and 3 smiley faces for, is firing people. And I don't think that the avenue to success is to keep on firing GMs and head coaches. So I'm a Raider fan. I'm a diehard. I was a season ticket holder in Oakland for a long time. If it takes us, and again, I'm all for it, Dave. If our roster changes overnight and we're super competitive in the AFC West and we're going toe to toe with the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm all for it. But I'm also all for it if we got to eat shit for another 2-3 years while they build this thing the right way.
True. Now,
well, look, I'm all about this, man. If we can build the fucking team like the New England Patriots did through the compensatory system and build a winner, then I'll get behind fucking McDumbass and Ziegler. You know what I mean?
I just want to say one thing, though. What if we hit, though? That's what I'm saying. I know this is frustrating. We've been unlucky, too, man. As much as we're dysfunctional, we've had luck not on our side at times, man. The Tuck rule. Let's just go back 20 years. The Tuck rule. We're unlucky enough for that call to not go our way. I mean, that call came out of nowhere and fucked that game up. Then we got Super Bowl 37. Damn, now we're facing the freaking architect of our offense. And they got John Lynch, who just rebuilt the 49ers. What's crazy? Isn't that crazy how that works? 20 years later, he's rebuilding fucking Super Bowl rosters in San Francisco as a GM. But the whole point is that, man, Al's Ghost, dude, what if they hit this draft and they hit this offseason,
right?
And we hit the freaking, because the way a Super Bowl run comes together, it's like you don't really see it. It's like everybody was on the Bills this year. The Bills actually, they cried like babies last year after that Chiefs game. I'm like, they beat you guys. Why did we have to change the old overtime rules to cater the Bills? And yet the Bills can't even get to the AFC Championship game again. And here we are.
Yeah, I like losing Super Bowls.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Hey,
I
here's
like
my
Josh
question.
Allen. I respect the Bills. Don't get me wrong, but they cried like babies last year when they lost to the Chiefs, and it's like, dude, Now you didn't even show up against Cincinnati, bro. Like, don't even get like so. But anyway, my point being is like shit can change overnight. The Cincinnati Bengals were in a drought like no other. We were with them, and we faced them last year in the playoffs, and now they're in their second AFC title game.
But that's because they got
hold on.
They
They're
got Joe
favored.
Burrow.
They're favored though, on the road against the Chiefs.
Well, here's my question, dude.
I believe they took the line today.
We're at the poker table, right? Like we got the
fucking
Super Bowl. We got the Super Bowl in Vegas next year, right? So I got these poker chips here, man. Why can't we just all in, motherfucker? Let's go fucking win, man. You know what I'm saying? Here's my fucking take, dude. We were 10-7. We were 10-7 last year, right? 10-7. We went to the playoffs, right? So was that a fluke? Did we win off of a whim?
It was
because of motivation? Or did they purposely take this team to get fucking comp picks, dude?
Hold on.
I don't want to wait 3, 4, or 5 fucking years. I don't want to wait 2 years. Look at Max Crosby. Look at Hunter Renfrow. It took at least 2 years for these guys to come on the scene. So you're saying by the time Devontae Adams, like not you, but I'm saying everybody, right? Like we have to accept that we're not even going to be in contention to make the playoffs and make a Super Bowl run for another 2 fucking years to develop guys in the draft. I'm going to have a heart attack. I can't fucking wait that long. These guys got to get this shit right.
Thank you.
They need to be fucking held accountable. I'm not saying they can't fucking get it done, but they got to be held accountable. We should not be just blind fan. And I'm not saying you're saying this, but I'm just saying it's okay to be critical of these guys, man. Their ass needs to be put on blast because this mediocrity bullshit is not fucking good enough. We've dealt with this for so long. You're right, bro. We got to win the AFC West. But it starts with them drafting good. It starts with free agency. It starts with them not doing dumbass contracts like the fucking Chandler Jones. And to me, it starts with signing Josh Jacobs one. Because if we have a stud running back like Jacobs with the other talent we have on offense, we don't, in my opinion, we don't need like a super stud Aaron Rodgers that's going to cripple us for years. Now that if they did that, it could work for short-term success, but it could hurt us long-term as well. So dude, these guys need to be put on blast. I ain't giving no free tickets to nobody. I'm going to put my fucking little black, like silver and black fucking Raider chip right here.
$100 chip right
I'm
there,
going
dude.
Fucking all in.
Is that
I
a real
win
chip?
A fucking Super Bowl.
Is that a real chip? You better get to Vegas.
Yeah, man, all these are real, bro.
Then you go to Vegas, man, and spend that shit.
Check it out, man. And I've been seeing some comments over here in the chat, like 1777 memorabilia. I hate to put you on blast on this, but Stidham was just an example. All right. We're not looking to get a Stidham or a Jimmy Garoppolo or anything like that. What I'm gunning for is getting a fucking quarterback in the draft because the draft has got 18 NFL ready quarterbacks ready to come on in and play, baby. Especially with a dude like Hendon Hooker, a dude who can run. Yeah, he might have tore his ACL, but hey, man, we could use that guy because our offensive line is absolute dog shit. So we need a dude who can take off running. But I'm telling you, bringing a Tom Brady in here, bringing an old guy with his fucking cane or his wheelchair is not going to save this team. What's going to save this team is getting decent draft picks, and being able to pick right. And with us getting all these compensatory picks, we might be able to get a Hendon Hooker on a compensatory pick, which will actually help this team very well.
I agree with that critique. Just real quick, Dave, I was going to say, I honestly, guys, and Hardcore knows this, I've said this before on several of his shows. The last time I saw the Raiders win a playoff game, I was in 6th grade, guys. I was like learning. I was learning long division. Like that's how long it's been since the Raiders won a playoff game. So, and now I'm a grown ass man, right?
Much respect to that, Al's, dude. Much respect, brother.
Yeah, like it's been hard. So when I jump on other shows and I see Captain Jack and OG, part of me is actually envious of those guys who got the chance to see the Raiders' heyday, right? The successful years of the 70s and 80s. I've never gotten a chance to really see that, other than that 2-3 year like stint with Gannon, 2016 with Carr. It's just been really, really rough. So I don't want anything other than the Raiders to succeed. But I also try to be as realistic as possible. I think it's going to take a while to build a sustainable winner. And if you're actually giving me the choice of, okay, like let's just go all in and like let's be in the Super Bowl next year in Vegas and that be just like a blip of success, I'd rather like actually or build a sustainable winner in which we're like the fucking Steelers, the Patriots, now Buffalo, etc. I know hardcore's all chips in, but like just a sustainable winner where we're like a perennial playoff team. I would much rather have that because that gives us more chances of success in the future for more seasons. Case in point, guys, the LA Rams or St. Louis Rams at the time, and now LA Rams, they went all in on the Super Bowl, right? Because it was going to be at SoFi. They traded away all their, especially all their high draft capital, first round picks. They traded for guys for like Jalen Ramsey and all these elite players.
Hey,
But
Al,
look at
real
them
quick.
now, guys. Look at them
Real quick.
now.
Al, can I just say something though?
Yeah,
Just
go
you're
ahead.
You're hitting
Yeah,
points. I want to
yeah.
bounce back and forth.
Yeah,
off of.
go.
If that's cool with
go
you,
ahead.
brother.
Go. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, check this out though. They also traded Jared Goff, who got them to a Super Bowl, for Matt Stafford, who never appeared in the Super Bowl. That was a risk, and it worked for them.
Absolutely. And I'm also in the camp of I'm like of two minds when it comes to like this team building thing, guys. Scare money don't make money. Like you got to take a risk.
Yep.
But
yeah, I like that.
I believe in that, but I also believe in taking a measured risk. So if I'm
Absolutely.
behind like hardcore's at the casino, he's rolling the dice, he's got his chips. I'm probably whispering to hardcore, "Hey, hardcore, you may not want to put all the chips in.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like keep a few chips in the back pocket. You got to eat. Like you got to sleep somewhere."
Well, Al's Ghost, left pocket, right pocket. Remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I like Ziegler taking risks. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think they have to be measured and calculated risks. Like, I don't want to see another 3-year, $51 million contract for a 31, 32-year-old pass rusher. Like, that's not what we want to see.
And you know what? I'm with you on both those takes, man, because I'm all for long term, calculated risk for the long term, or the all in, short term, whatever it takes. But at the same time, man, like just building that mentality. That's the thing. I think it's important for us fans to have a less frustrated mentality with the organization, and I'm not saying we need to be all in supportive, but what we need to do is we need to develop a mentality where we're developing a winning mentality, where we're all in to win. You know what I mean? Where so I'm a little bit older than you, bro. So like at that time, I was probably like 22 at that time when the Raiders were winning the West with Gannon and all that. But before that, there was Marty Schottenheimer, man, and this started like in the early 90s, dude. And we were always like an 8-8 team, maybe we coming off the 3 Super Bowls, but then we were like the Raiders were always an 8-8, maybe 7-9. We never had losing seasons until Joe Bugle came on, and then we had a 4-12 season, and it was like a punch to the gut. Al Michaels was writing articles in the newspaper that was pissing me off. Like Al Michaels was shitting on Al Davis big time, calling Al Davis a loser. Like Al Michaels was talking mad shit on Al Davis. It pissed me off. But the point being is that we had that back then, that mentality was when I was watching the Chiefs and the Raiders, I was like, I fucking hate Marty Schottenheimer, dude. And that guy's dead now, so rest in peace, Marty Schottenheimer. But I freaking, as a kid, I couldn't stand him. I couldn't stand Christian Okoye. Couldn't stand Barry Word. Couldn't stand Andre Rison, dude. I mean, like, the Chiefs have always been and then going before that, there was a major rivalry with the Chiefs in the AFL that the older Raider fans were always like, yeah, dude, the Chiefs are the fucking team, dude, and da-da-da. And so I've always held on to that old school mentality of Chiefs Raiders. I know the Chargers got good and all that, and then, some kind of went with the Chargers Raiders, Broncos Raiders rivalry. And don't get me wrong, with Elway, I hated the Broncos, but yeah, man, like, this really goes back far, this rivalry and these rivalries with the Raiders and the Raiders' rich history, to where I think it's urgent that the organization, we got to pray Mark Davis really does get the right people in the building, man. So, because getting that championship in Vegas, I will say, is urgent, because we do need to build our fan base in Vegas, because we had the success of winning a Super Bowl within a short window when the Raiders moved to LA. Where they gained the respect of Southern California by winning the Super Bowl in LA, and they already had the 2 Super Bowls coming off of the Oakland, and they had the rich history. So, I mean, that's what we need to do, I think, now, is we need to establish something now to build our fan base in Las Vegas, because it's tough, man, when you see that many Chiefs fans in that.
Absolutely. Well, hey, you guys, make sure you guys subscribe. We're going to give away this Davante Adams jersey, brand new, your size. Weekend before the Super Bowl. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Raider Critique was talking about a wheelchair, and if you guys don't know, if you're just tuning in, me and Raider Critique got a bet. Essentially, if Tom Brady becomes a Raider, he's got to wear a Tom Brady jersey on backwards. for a whole show. And then if Tom Brady doesn't become a Raider, then I got to wear an Antonio Clown jersey on backwards. So my only question is Raider critique. You're talking about a wheelchair. So are you going to have this jersey pull up in a wheelchair before you wear it? Is that what you're saying? You're on mute. You're on mute.
That's kind of exactly what I'm saying, man. I'm going to fucking roll up into my fucking wheelchair with my Tom Brady jersey on. I might even have a cane just to show that this old bastard, he's old, a 46-year-old quarterback who literally has to put both butt cheeks and all of his weight into every throw just to get it 20 yards down the field. If this guy winds up being a Raider, I am going to be so disgusted, but I'm going to wear that jersey with pride, although I'm not going to be happy about it. But I don't think that's going to happen now, do we?
Well, if I got to wear the Antonio
Clown jersey,
well, dude,
I'm going to have to play the circus music if I got to wear the Antonio Clown jersey because I fucking hate that motherfucker, dude. You know what I'm saying? So,
and just so you guys know, just to clear some, dude, I read Brady's linked to like 3 teams right now. And one they're not talking about that I texted you guys this morning, dude. There could be the Tennessee Titans involved trying to get him, dude, because Mike Vrabel coaches over there, dude. And like, you know, they just lost Tannehill, so that, I mean, and Brady was there, Brady was rumored there 2 years ago, so it's going to be, we're going to see, man, like some. But I just want to say, man, it was good.
The Titans would eat 18 million if they get rid of Tannehill.
So they take the cap hit of 18 million.
Yeah.
Really? Because there's strong rumors that he's getting released.
Yeah.
Well, look, what I'm thinking about Tom Brady, bro, is probably what only a few people have been talking about. Homeboy's going to go own the Dolphins. All right? He's going to retire and go own the Dolphins because that's where he's going. And then both of us are going to be able to wear our respective jerseys the way we want to wear them. And neither one of us are going to get embarrassed. But if he fucking doesn't come here and he winds up going to another team, Hardcore's going to have Brown on his chest.
Hey, and the jerseys are on order. This shit's locked, man. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to say something too about the Tuck rule, all that stuff, dude. The Super Bowl loss, dude. Those losses have forever burned, dude, and they bug me still to this day.
Yeah,
so when I speak of passion and intensity, that's just a mentality, dude. Like I'm telling you, dude, like I don't walk around mad for 20 years. I'm waiting for our opportunity. I am sitting here literally waiting for our opportunity. And I hope these guys get it right. I really do, man. And I'm excited for Devontae Adams. I'm excited for Josh Jacobs. I'm excited for Max Crosby. I've not seen those players of those calibers in silver and black in 20 years. I've not seen players like that in 20 years.
Everybody in the chat, right? Can I get 4 shit stain emojis if you think Tom Brady is worse than wearing an Antonio Clown jersey? Or give me 4 clown Chucky heads for Antonio Clown. And then I want to get Al's Ghost. The point is, which would you rather not wear? Okay. Would you rather not wear an Antonio Brown jersey, or would you rather not wear a Tom Brady jersey? So let's see it in the chat. Which one is like at a higher level you guys think that's like, if you had to wear like one that would be more humiliating? Tom Brady, put in the shit stains, okay? Shit stain emojis, or Antonio Brown, put in the clown emojis. So 4 clown emojis or 4 shit stain emojis. Alice Ghost, what do you think? Which one's more humiliating?
It's a good one, dude. That's a tough one. I think which one would I not want to wear, dude? Probably AB, dude. AB.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't want to wear AB. Like, that one's rough, dude. I mean, especially, you know, his post-football career, all the wacky interviews that he's done, what he tweets. At least, you know, Tom Brady seems to be like a stand-up guy. And he doesn't do like the clownish stuff that AB does. So probably AB is more embarrassing.
All right.
Yeah. And
Good
another
call.
thing, yeah, I would never. Yeah, AB's the worst.
Fuck
jersey
you,
could
Raider
possibly
critique.
wear.
Of course you're gonna say good call, dude. What the fuck? He's like, yeah, dude, that is a great call. Fuck.
Hey, but remember, it was your idea. That one was your idea.
You got cocky, and I said it's probably gonna happen where Tom Brady's a Raider, and you're like, it ain't gonna happen. I'm like, okay, you want to make a bet? You got to wear a Tom Brady jersey, and that's how this shit went down, man. And hey, I made the bet fair. I'm willing to wear an Antonio Clown jersey. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
I
hey,
really don't.
hardcore.
Hey, hardcore, you got bait and switched.
Hey, hardcore. You should have had Critique wear a Damon Arnett jersey. You should have done that.
Oh,
Dude.
No, he hates Tom Brady so much, bro, and I do too. But like Raider Critique, like you could almost do anything to him, and it wouldn't be as bad as having to put on a fucking Tom Brady jersey. And a lot
bro,
of
if
Raider
you
Nation,
want to
and
see me
rightfully
vomit
so.
on myself, you're gonna put me in that Tom Brady jersey, bro. I'm gonna fucking vomit on camera.
Hey, Critique, and you got to be eating avocado toast when you wear that jersey, dude. Come on, you got to be doing something like that, something
There you
healthy.
go.
Shout out to Raiders Allegiance. He said he has the brown jersey still in the package. Fucking asshole.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
dude,
a lunatic, man. Good old Luna, bro.
Yeah, I got any bust jersey that we have, dude, that I had, dude. Most of them are like Father's Day gift, which sucks, dude.
Mhm.
It's like, oh man, it's like this guy. Thanks for the Father's Day gift, but this guy sucks. He's a fucking bust. But yeah, I just get all my jerseys modified now, man. So today was a tough one. My Carl Joseph, I'm a fan of Carl Joseph. I liked him, and I like the safety position, dude. I liked him in the run support. I liked how Carl Joseph would fucking show up in the box and just fucking take running backs to the turf, dude. But I got my Carl Joseph modified today. I got it modified. So sorry, Joseph.
Speaking of that, compensatory picks, do you think we get one for Jonathan Abrams since he was a starter?
That's possible, dude, because he played in the playoffs. So I think he went into the Seahawks. So he finished. So yeah, it's possible, dude. But he would have to finish. Yeah, because he would finish his 4-year contract this year. It's very possible we could get a pick in return for fucking Jonathan fucking Abram. Yep.
Yeah, but
He's
what
first round
about
pick,
Green
too.
Bay? What about Green Bay? Wouldn't they get a compensatory pick?
Green Bay claimed him off waivers, then Green Bay cut him, and then who picked him up? Seattle picked him up. And then so he was claimed off waivers, I believe, the whole way. So I believe that means his contract was honored, and then therefore we could I don't know what the value is going to be for Abrams, but he's a first round pick, and he did he fulfilled his 4-year contract,
Well,
his last game.
and you guys, we got rid of a shit ton of Raider players this year as well. I'm not going to get in all of them. A lot of us know them from the dude we traded. Well, that one I don't think could be a comp pick. The dude we traded to the Cowboys, but I think this coaching staff is still trying to do the comp pick things even this year. So last year they came on, dumped a bunch of guys. They've dumped a bunch of guys this year, and that would be comp picks not for this draft, guys, but for the following draft. So this like cleansing of the guard and dumping players, it could work, or these guys will turn out to be complete morons for get rid of guys that they should have maybe coached up better to win now. But go ahead, Alice Ghost.
Yeah, so I was actually going to say on the comps pick, you know what I'm really excited about, guys, is with these 6th and 7th round comp picks, packaging those up and moving up into the 4th or the 3rd.
Yep.
Like I think that's where the real like chess game could happen. And I'm not too excited about drafting 3, 4, 7th round guys, but if you could package those in a way that moves us into those like middle rounds, like don't forget, right? Like Max Crosby, mid-round guy, Hunter Renfrow, mid-round guy, Nate Hobbs, mid-round guy, right? So there's a lot of gems there in the mid rounds that we could leverage into if we trade those like later round picks and package them to the right team.
Well, a lot of teams,
too,
real quick, a lot of teams fell in the 2nd and 3rd round, but dude, they're like, in my opinion, there is so many studs going to be available, like in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, and even up to the 4th round. 2nd to 4th round, there's going to be some dudes, in my opinion, that have potential to be maybe not super studs, but some really damn good players. You know what I mean? I'm actually more excited, to be honest with you guys, for the 2nd to 4th round this year than I am the 1st round, and I'd be willing to trade back depending on how the draft falls and shit like that to get an extra 2nd or a 3rd round pick. Even Derek Carr, if say we were to trade Derek Carr, I think we're going to release him. If we were to trade Derek Carr, I would actually rather have a 2nd and a 3rd round pick versus a 1st round pick. I know that sounds crazy, but I would rather have a 2nd and a 3rd round pick than just one 1st round pick. But that's kind of my take, because I've looked at it, and there's going to be some cornerbacks, some linebackers, possibly some defensive end studs as well available in those later to mid rounds. I even found a wide receiver I like a lot available in the 4th or 5th round. Aeneas Smith, that dude's going to be a super stud like a Tyreek Hill. So there's going to be some guys, man, that will be maybe not day one starters, maybe not all of them, but have potential to be big difference makers on this team the more mid-round picks we get. So I like that. Go ahead, Raider Dave.
Well, one thing I was going to say too, I believe since Derek Carr, but then again, I could be wrong on this because, like I said, the formula can be tricky on certain grounds with when it comes to how you can acquire a comp pick, and that is Derek Carr. If they don't trade him, and let's say he's released and he's a free agent, because he signed his extension, I don't know if that would void the comp pick, but the fact that he's a free agent and he's a quarterback, we could possibly, I'm guessing, we would get that top third round pick, that one of those first third round picks in return for Derek Carr if he hit free agency. But you guys, man, I'm not trying to reach on the Derek Carr trade. I want to be very serious, man. These are calculated thoughts, man. And I just go by what I read. And I'm telling you, man, I'm not reaching on a draft pick for Derek Carr. I honestly, truly believe this team is going to get a mid first round pick, if not a third round pick. That could be a conditional second depending on how he starts. But I think we're going to get good value in return for Derek Carr. We might not get the 2 first round picks from years past, but we're going to get value for Derek Carr. I think those things are heating up, man. And I think the way this league works, man, they do this for the best interest of the game, man. Whether a player has full pull or not, they do what's best for the game, for the league, I should say. Things are a little weird right now in the league. I'm not going to spin off of how I feel over what happened over the weekend, but things are a little weird in the NFL right now. But like the one thing we got to remember is this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's a union. They're bigger than the frickin' United States government. And they fucking got a lot of fucking pull. And I personally think there's a lot of behind the scenes that a lot of writers don't talk about is the fact there's a lot of attorneys that work for the NFL and there's a lot of advisors that work for the NFL. And they tell these players, hey, you might want to make this decision, man, because the money's on the table. Once the money's on the table, it's almost like the player has to take it or he walks away. You know what I mean? It's just
Longy Raider makes a good point, bro. I don't know if you can trade comp picks.
I believe you cannot trade comp picks, but I think what Al Ghost was saying was that like we could take our 7th rounders that are like basically like
right.
That loose change. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
Because Ziegler did that last year, brother. Like he kept trading up, man, and that's another thing. I was actually excited last draft. I was like, hey, we just have another trade. We just moved up. We acquired another pick. We did, and I love the Jonathan Hankins move in the midseason to get a 5th round pick when the Cowboys are making a playoff push. So there's some little moves, and I'm excited to build this team through the draft, man. I mean, every year, man, the NFL, we see these, like this year's rookie class this was a good rookie class, man. I mean, Sauce Gardner, man, Chris Olave, man, these were good. This was a good year for rookies, man. And I'm excited. I mean, the last 4 years of the draft, I mean, just watching these players evolve in the league. I mean, guy that I wanted us to get in 2018, Roquan Smith. I mean, I'm watching him sign extensions. I remember in 2018, guys were like, oh, you really think he's a top 10? And I'm like,
definitely.
I'm like, yeah, I do, dude. They're like guys were rating him in the top 25. Like, you really think he's an NFL? He's 230. I'm like, dude, watch this guy add like another 10 pounds. The fact that he can run sideline to sideline and he's a tackling machine, fucking, you don't got to tell me anymore about Roquan Smith. I know he's going to be a top 10 pick, and he went 8th overall. And, but the thing is oh, they changed the rule. Okay, so Raiders Allegiance. So, like I said, with the comp picks, there's a lot of confusion because the league controls that, and the league there's like a formula, and like I said, with me saying the league controls that, that is kind of a guess. I'm only saying that because NFL writers aren't telling us what the comp picks are. If we knew what the comp picks are, it'd be in the articles already published. But
hey, look, let's break it down, bro. These motherfuckers will change rules whenever they decide to feel like it. Look at what happened to the Tuck rule. All right, they changed that shit quick as fuck 2 years ago. Oh, no more Tuck rule. So literally, whoever has the money makes the rules, and if they decide to change the rule whenever they feel like it, well, who are we to stop them?
Yeah. No, cool. And they have all the power, dude. Like I said, this league, man. Like I said, it's not just Roger Goodell. There's like so many people beneath him that work for him, and I mean, this thing it's insane, dude. It's crazy, man. I mean, and I'm not an expert on it or anything like that. I have a couple buddies that are actual baseball scouts, so I get a little bit of what they're telling me. But other than that, man, the NFL is a complicated machine, man. But pretty much what you see in the news sometimes they're just trying to get us riled up, man, with just a lot of speculation, and especially right now, Brady here, Brady there, and like I said, that's
Him
just what
jumping
I've been.
on Instagram going, just win, baby.
Oh
Fuck
yeah,
off.
dude.
You have
I've
no
seen.
reason to say that. Get
Oh,
out of here with that
when
bullshit.
Brady said that, yeah, I remember. Yeah, so Brady, and then Brady can throw something out there that just the writers run with. But as far as us, as far as our fan base and our team, man, we're gonna get this thing, and we got some cool. I like what we have in place, man. I'm excited with Josh Jacobs. I'm excited with Devontae Adams, Max Crosby, just those players alone, man, and Daniel Carlson, dude. The
So I
fucking
have a
guy's money on
question
the
for
kicks.
all of y'all, though, and this is something that really baffled my mind. Why did we give Carr the extension?
To get him to
Let's
perform. I
hold on.
personally feel that.
Let's give Alice Ghost a chance to talk if you
Go
don't
for
mind.
it,
Let
go
him
for it.
open this one up, and then I'll go to you, Raider Dave. Alice Ghost.
Which topic specifically, hardcore, would you want me to touch on?
Raider critique. Well, you could touch on whatever we talked about if there's anything you want to say, because I know you haven't had a chance to say anything. And then Raider critique was asking, why did they give Derek Carr the extension going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think actually to answer that question, I think they gave him that extension because they weren't sold on Carr, and it had that exit right at it had that clause in the contract that effectively made it into a prove it year for Carr. And my whole beef with that, as I stated, was they should have traded the guy when his stock was the highest. And now, when his stock is the lowest, we're unfortunately not going to get much in trade value or trade value at all. Like, in my opinion, the guy's just getting cut and we're not getting anything in return. But yeah, I mean, I'd like Ziegler to manipulate these comp picks and these other draft picks in the best way possible to get us into those mid rounds. And hopefully he has some of that magic that Mayock had, right? Because for as many mistakes that Mayock made, he actually did pretty well in that 2019 draft. And then, in the subsequent drafts, he was able to find some real gems in the mid rounds. I think he blew some of the earlier picks. I actually do think that he hit on the Ruggs pick. Unfortunately, there was that whole tragic situation with Ruggs. But, hopefully Ziegler, knocks it out of the park this offseason, because I do think that it's probably going to be the most important, the most consequential offseason in like Raiders history, right? Like we're pivoting. We're trying to find our quarterback. We're trying to compete in the AFC West. We're trying to go toe to toe against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's funny.
I know, I'm laughing too, man.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to mess you up. I should have put
that's funny as well. But the pressure's on Ziegler, guys, and I hope that Ziegler knocks it out of the park, and I hope that he's pulling all-nighters. I mean, I think you mentioned this hardcore. The guy looks like pretty stressed out in some of his interviews, like he was breaking out or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good sign, right? It shows that he's feeling the heat, and I think he should feel the heat. And what's interesting for him is he can't walk across the hallway or go next door and ask Uncle Bill whether or not this is the right thing to do. The buck is stopping with him, which is, it could be kind of scary, right? I'm not sure if you guys, in your jobs have been elevated to be managers and now you're the guy who needs to call the shots. That's a different kind of position to be in when you're just, an individual contributor that doesn't necessarily have to make management decisions. So hopefully Ziegler does what he can to really uplift this roster. And I'm really, really rooting for Josh McDaniels to really turn this thing around. And actually, to close out real quick, guys, I got to go do something. I think we would probably all agree here on the panel that the biggest hole on our team is the defensive side of the ball. And I know that they're probably not going to fire Patrick Graham at this point. They're sticking with Patrick Graham. And I really want to make sure that they do the grocery shopping for Patrick Graham, right? Because Patrick Graham is the guy going forward. Now you committed to him. And I know that Patrick Graham now he had the excuse this season, like, hey, these weren't my guys. I didn't choose these guys, et cetera, et cetera. Well, have Patrick Graham in those rooms with Dave Ziegler to make sure that you get the type of players, the type of linemen, the type of linebackers, the types of safeties and corners that are going to succeed in this scheme. Because I do think that we could compete with any team in the AFC West if we just became an average defense, guys. I think we could actually score. We just need to become an average defense. And then at that point, a lot of these close games will turn in our favor. But with that, I'll close out, guys. Really appreciate the time, hardcore. Raider Dave, you're awesome. Raider Critique, always a pleasure. By the way, quick plug, I got a patch from Raider Critique in the mail. They're awesome, dude. They're super cool. I stitched it onto my backpack, and now everyone at work is like, "Hey, what's Raider Critique?" And I tell them, "Hey, you need to subscribe to his YouTube channel." So
Nice.
always nice chatting with you fellas, and
Thank
have a great
you, bro.
evening.
Right
Peace
on.
out.
Have a good one. It's always good talking to Al too, man. Right
Yeah, it's
on,
great
man.
Thanks,
talking
Al
to you.
Ghost.
like
You
I'm
brought a
talking
lot
to
of
Al
good
Davis.
content and insight to the panel. So I always appreciate you coming on here, Al's Ghost. Did a great job.
Peace.
And we'll talk to you later. Have a good evening. Yeah. So I guess Raider Dave, do you want to touch on anything as far as the Derek Carr contract deal?
Yeah, I got to bounce out as well. But yes, as far as the Derek Carr contract, man, I think they gave Derek every Derek fulfilled every opportunity. Derek Carr is the richest Raider of all time player to collect money for this team, man. And I love everything Derek did, man. But I did, like I said, by 2019, I was kind of wanting us to get a backup quarterback. I love Derek, but he never hit where I thought he was going to hit. And, they gave him an incentivized deal, which is clear in his contract, the numbers show you. And we got a 6-11 result, man. And that's why we're talking about this situation right now, man. That's all that this is. And I think getting him not only one of his best friends, but getting him Devontae Adams. I mean, like, you're getting him his friend, his former teammate at Fresno State. I'm just like, dude, they did. And Josh Jacobs, you pull the 5th year. You knew Josh Jacobs was in the contract year. He's going to go off. You got Hunter Renfrow. You got Darren Waller under contract. You got, a shaky offensive line. But in the NFL, man, I know we got to build in the trenches bad. But one thing about some of these quarterbacks, their talent makes up for some missing pieces on the offensive line. Some of their talent makes up for the defense. Like Patrick Mahomes, I always knew Chris Jones, the defensive tackle for the Chiefs. I always watched him and went, dude, that guy's no joke. When he was a free agent, I wanted us to sign him. The Chiefs knew it was a priority to keep him. And they have Chris Jones, and that defense with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they were struggling. Remember, they were a 30th ranked defense early on. Now they've come along because they're a winning team. They win games, so everything starts to fall into place. So, number one, this is an offensive-driven league, and I'm like, we got to build the defense, but load up this offense, make sure this offense is set, and then let the defense build itself as time goes on, because we're not going to build a Pittsburgh Steelers defense overnight. We're not going to build a Baltimore Ravens defense overnight. And by the way, those defenses that won Super Bowls for those franchises, that's very rare for that to happen. I watched that playoff game with Ray Lewis the last time the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl, and it was a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning. I'm making pancakes. It was like 2012. I'm sitting there making pancakes with the family, and we're just fucking in. And I'm like, and I watched Ray Lewis before the game literally walk up to the defense and get that defense ready. And I told my wife and my family at the dinner table that night, I go, they're going to win the Super Bowl off of defense. And Joe Flacco, remember Joe Flacco, they upset the Broncos, dude. That was a great, I wanted that. I wanted to upset the Broncos, but Ray Lewis had the mentality.
Well,
to
yeah,
like, hey,
we definitely need a stud middle linebacker, and Perriman wasn't it. We have a guest.
Hold on. I love Perriman.
We have a guest.
I like what Perriman did. He did good for us.
He can't cover. He can't cover tight ends, wide receivers. We got Afagasi Raiders. So let's.
Yeah, but who's going to cover Travis Kelce these days?
Roquan Smith. We got Afagasi Raider, man. Let's welcome in Afagasi. What up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, fam? Hardcore, ready critique. Grimecast, I believe, is the first time I shared the panel with you, so salute you.
Yeah, right on. Hey, man,
fan.
good talking to you, brother. I'm Raider Dave. Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you, man. How are you? Sorry, finish what you were saying. You were talking
What's
about
the time over there? Hey, real quick though. Wait. What time is it over there, brother? Night.
It's 12:50 Wednesday p.m.
Noon.
Midday.
Oh,
Midday.
Right on. How's the weather?
Right. Raider Nation worldwide in Australia, dude.
How's the weather?
It's summer. It's a beautiful summer day here on the West Coast. So yeah, nothing but sunny days.
Hell yeah, bro. We're out here in Cali, bro. It was a beautiful day. So much love.
We're
to you.
freezing over here. It's
Coast to
raining in
coast.
Texas.
So, Afagasi, we talked about a lot of things. I don't know what you want to touch on. We kind of went over the bet between me and Raider Critique. Don't know what you think of that, as well as the comp picks, kind of the long-term goal that this regime has done versus maybe sacrificing some short-term success. Raider Dave was just talking about the Derek Carr contract. So any of that you want to touch on, feel free to let it rip, man.
Well, look, I'll go from where you were just talking about the linebacker position, and salute to everybody in the chat. How are we? I side with Grimecast. I was actually pretty high on Perriman, and I believe he'll likely be gone off our roster. Hopefully we can figure out a way to keep him. I mean, at least he gives us some stability. Outside of Perriman, who do we have? UDFAs and a whole bunch of second-year guys. And once again, it's a point of weakness that just never seems to get addressed properly. And I'm hoping this year is a change of that. I hope Perriman can be a part of that, but it's probably unlikely. And, he is good in the run game, and I think he did better this year in the coverage aspect of the game. I mean, he got 2 interceptions. I mean, he didn't glaringly give up catches like the other guys did. You know what I mean? So, I think he's by no means like a coverage linebacker, but I think he did better than what he's previously done this year. So I think that's a little unfair. But I'm with Grimecast. I'm high on Perriman. I mean, he's been the best linebacker we've had in the last decade and a bit. I mean,
since Kirk
Morrison and Thomas Howard. Yeah, I was just about to say that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how. I mean, Perriman has been good, but like that's how bad the position has been. It just never seems to get addressed properly, and I'm hoping that can change.
So
Much love to the chat. I'm having a good time.
Did you hear the bet between me and Raider Critique? What you think of that?
No, I didn't. I saw Critique. Salute to you. I saw your video talking about the bet, and you were going to talk about it on this live. I didn't catch that part of it. So what is the bet?
So if Tom Brady becomes a Raider, Raider Critique has to wear the Tom Brady jersey on backwards for an entire show. If Tom Brady doesn't become a Raider, then I got to wear an Antonio Clown jersey on backwards
for
an entire show. Yeah, dude.
I once upon a time I was dating someone. She bought me as a gift an Antonio Brown jersey, and by the time the time she got it, she was going to present it to me. All that shit went down with him being released off the team and all that. You know what I mean? And yeah, for me, it's as good as toilet paper. So
frozen feet, and hot air balloons.
If there's 3 players, I mean, there's players that I'm not high on, but there's only a very, very small minority of players that I absolutely despise that have been Raiders. I don't even know if you can count Brown, but he would be in that small minority. Him, Damon Arnett, and Rolando McClain are the only 3 that I absolutely despise.
Rolando McClain,
Randy
man.
Moss.
Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say Randy Moss I'd put in there, but that's just
I'm a little like Randy Moss is before my time, but like listening to Stu, shout out to Stu, talk about Randy Moss and give him his takes and perspective. I mean, by accounts, he was actually a pretty good teammate during that time, but that was before my time. You know what I mean? I started following the Raiders, the tail end of Thomas Howard and Kirk Morrison, and the end of the Jamarcus Russell era. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
but I'll say something
during my era. That's
Hey, I'll give him this. I would have did exactly what Randy Moss did if I had fucking Jamarcus Russell throwing me the ball, overthrowing me, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I think I'd be pissed too. But still, it gives him no excuse to sit there and yell out on commentary and yell out at the fans that I'm not a Raider, because once you're a Raider, you're always a Raider. Now he definitely done ruled himself out of that. And Al spent a lot of money and time and had a lot of faith in that guy for that dude to just sit there and do that to this franchise.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy?
I can understand why people don't like him, but for me, like those other 3 are on a different level of hatred for me. I cannot stand those other 3.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because I'm going to bounce off of Rick in the chat here, man, because that's exactly what I wanted to touch on, is that the Randy Moss thing didn't really bite us because he went to the Patriots. We only got a 4th-round pick, I think, for him in return. But the thing is that Randy Moss, he went to one of the Patriot teams where they started 18-0 and lost in the Super Bowl to the Eli Manning, who was 8-8. I'll never forget that. Tom Coughlin's face is like frozen in the Green Bay game. And I'm like, dude, I pulled for the Giants heart. My cousin's from New York, so he's a Giant. I was like, I watched that Super Bowl with him. I'm like, dude, Eli's throwing the football with a blindfold on, hitting Plaxico Burress for touchdowns. But Randy Moss, he freaking finished 18-1. And Randy Moss wore the 18 in freaking Oakland. And so I have my Randy Moss jersey modified to say 18-1 on the side. I think that's the tradition. If you got a Randy Moss, make sure that thing shows up 18-1.
But would you put him in that same echelon as those other 3? I mean, look,
no,
Moss from a production standpoint didn't do enough, and yeah, it sucked about him coming out and saying what he said, on the booth. I saw that footage, but I mean, at least as a Raider, he did some things, nowhere near enough to his capabilities compared to the likes of McClain, Arnett, and Antonio Brown, who did absolutely nothing.
And I'll say this on Randy Moss. That's just like simple fun that I poke at him because I have a ton of respect for Randy Moss. He was actually one of my favorite receivers coming out of Marshall. I like the talent. Randy Moss has a talent you can't teach. The speed, the length, the way he played wide receiver, he was very unique. So I was excited when we acquired him. But not only that, Randy Moss embraced the welcome from Oakland. Al Davis, man, he really rolled out the red carpet for Randy Moss when they traded for him. I remember his kids showing up. They had him gifts, and they brought him in a limo and all that, dude. And so I was excited. And Randy, he was like when that first game with Kerry Collins, we played the Patriots. Had the big bomb and all that. But it was a disappointment, man. But yeah, he's not the biggest fucking disappointment of.
He's not the bonehead that those other three are.
Antonio Brown, I will say, dude, that one hurt my feelings, bro. That was like and I'll tell you why. And I usually don't get my fucking feelings hurt in football, but man, like, so I was excited that we got Antonio Brown. I thought Derek Carr needed that go-to wide receiver. John Gruden did everything he could to get him into Oakland. And then I'm driving out to the desert on a Saturday morning, and the freaking and I guess the Raiders had to release him, and then the Patriots picked him up. That was, and then he's catching a touchdown the following Sunday. That one stung, man. For the 20
with the way he did us, bro. With the way he did us, I've only got 2 words for that Super Bowl they lost. David Tyree, baby.
Oh yeah, and Eli Manning was like literally had a blind. Eli Manning didn't even know where he was throwing the football, which is crazy, dude. Like he's just
but hold up. What did the Giants have both those years they won against the Patriots?
They had a defense.
Defense.
But one thing, hardcore,
I know you're saying it's offensive heavy league
overnight, though.
Yeah, I know, but I know you're saying it's an offensive heavy league, but defense is still, man. Even looking at these teams that are in the running for the Super Bowl coming this weekend, they all have pretty damn good defenses. I mean, the Niners, awesome defense. The Eagles, awesome defense, combined like 70 sacks. The Bengals, they do have an awesome offense, but they got a pretty damn good defense. You know what I'm saying? And then who am I missing? Oh, the Chiefs defense, probably middle of the pack or whatever, but I mean, it's not garbage, that's for sure. So you can win in this league by outscoring opponents still, or more like for this offensive heavy league or whatever, but still at the end of it, a good defense is what's going to really make the difference, I think, in the playoffs,
But can I bounce off that real quick?
Go ahead.
Just real quick, just because I want to say something. Like the way this league works is, so penalties don't always go the defense's way. So let's say you have a heavy investment in defense, yet you're getting flagged for pass interferences that are costing you games. What do you do now? And now your investment isn't in offense. So offense, I think you have to invest in the offense. And then if the offense is clicking and you're getting you're fucking a firepower offense and you're fucking lighting it up on the scoreboard, your defense will fall into place. And start
Okay. But who won the Super Bowl? Who won the Super Bowl last year? The Rams won the Super Bowl last year and they had an awesome defense. Who won the Super Bowl the year before? Tampa Bay. They had an awesome defense. So,
but those guys acquired the best defensive tackles in the league. Tampa Bay.
It wasn't Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning didn't do shit. It was their defense. It's all about defense, baby. Offense scores points. Defense wins championships.
But hold on, Peyton Manning had to complete a couple key passes in that fourth quarter to win that game.
Yeah, but he was garbage.
Peyton Manning's arm was a noodle in that game. Don't get me wrong. Cam Newton looked like shit in that game, right? Was that the one against the Panthers?
Yeah, it was Cam Newton.
Cam Newton looked like shit. Von Miller was owning him in that game. But I was drunk by halftime. I was literally spinning a lane on I was spinning in the living room. But I hate the Broncos, by the way, just so you know. So when you bring up Super Bowls of the Broncos, I hate the Broncos. I was spinning in my living room like my fucking ceiling was a helicopter fucking propeller, dude. That's how drunk I was for that Super Bowl. But anyway, I wanted to puke right there when fucking I'm seeing it. But Peyton Manning, all he had to do with his noodle arm, like, was a 10-yard pass, and he did. But
that's because the defense. Let's see what Afagasi has to say about this.
But hold on, those defenses were built in time, though. They weren't built overnight.
No, but they did over leverage a lot to hold that defense together.
Picks. Aaron Donald, draft pick. You got Ndamukong Suh, who was acquired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who got him from the Lions. But you had Ndamukong Suh, then you had Shaq Barrett. They had lethal guys right up there up front. And then with the Rams, they drafted Aaron Donald. Man, Aaron Donald is insane.
And don't forget about all the wide receivers they had too. They had Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes.
They had a lot of beasts on the offensive side of the ball too. But it was like a super team, bro.
Oh, they
loaded
roster.
Future success for short-term success. Let's see what Afagasi has to say. I want to get his take.
I think we can all agree.
That's what I'm say. He's pissed.
No, not really. I mean, look, you all have good takes, and I think we can all agree defense played an important part in a lot of those teams' success. Whether they were the main piece of the puzzle in their success and their Super Bowl winning years, whatever. To be honest, for me personally, I don't really care because they're not the Raiders. My only care is Raider football. Now, that brings me back to what I was going to ask. We all can agree that our defense needs to be better. Patrick Graham, I dub him the messiah of the defense. Everyone was talking how he was going to do this and that before the season started last year, how he's going to be the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and bring us back to the promised land. Well, for me personally, he didn't show that. He ain't showed me shit. Sorry,
and
can
now
we
he's
cuss
the head coach of what? Isn't it the American side of the like he got a head coaching position on the
Patrick
American side? Yeah, well, it's
Oh, yeah,
what do
yeah,
you
He's in
call
the
it?
Senior
For
Bowl,
the,
right? He's in the
Senior
coach
Bowl.
in the Senior Bowl, yeah.
But my question is this. How much faith do you guys have in Patrick Graham to be able to bring this defense back and I don't know, make us somewhat of at the very least, a sustainable unit or even a good unit? You know what I mean? Like, how much faith do you guys have in this guy? Because my faith, I'm all right with him, but it's not too high, to be honest.
Yeah, let me go first. So, because here's something that, I put a lot of in-depth, thinking about him and this whole coaching staff. Is his resume is unproven. He hasn't done shit, guys. He had a mediocre defense, I would say, when he was on with the defensive coordinator with the Giants. And then before that, there's not a body of work to say like, hey, this guy's an elite defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? So, I mean, honestly, I have zero confidence until it's proven. So I'm not saying I believe in him or that he couldn't be that guy, but he's got no resume. And same with a lot of these coaches. At some point, I'm going to do a video down the road breaking down these coaches. But like, even though Josh McDaniels calling plays, even our offensive coordinator, Mick Lombardi, never been offensive coordinator, was always a clipboard guy, and I know McDaniels is calling the plays and shit, but like, we have a bunch of coaches besides just like our offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator that are really unproven. Some of them have resumes, but some of them, like, it was like once they came to the Raiders, they got promoted. You cannot bring on as much like holes they filled in the coaching staff and expect to have success. In my opinion, McDaniels got too cute. They should have done like what the Rams did years ago with bringing on Wade Phillips to control the defense and bringing on like, coaches that aren't just yes men, but coaches that have an accredited resume, a body of work, and they are proven at what they can do. So until it's proven, I got zero. I'm not saying he can't get it done, but I got zero confidence because we don't have anything to really base it off of that. Yeah, this guy's going to be a stud and he can get this thing turned around. We don't know. We could get all the talent in the world and he could still flop this fucking defense.
I think when it comes to Patrick Graham, man, that's something I kept eyes on going as we close the season, man. I was waiting to see if they were going to retain him or fire him. But basically with Patrick Graham and Josh McDaniels, I'll simplify it, dude. I think both are just lame duck coaches at this point right now. I mean, there's transitionary periods in the NFL where these things are done by design, as in a period where we're reloading. You know what I mean? We're changing that we did not keep Rich Bisaccia. We went with Josh McDaniels. During this next 2 years, I look at it like this, as he could be just one of those lame duck head coaches, or maybe the Raiders organization truly believes in him. That remains to be seen. But both head coach Josh McDaniels and Patrick Graham could both very well be lame duck coaches, in my personal opinion.
I think Patrick Graham is a lame duck coach. All right. This dude can't make a decision on which defense he wants to run. That's why he runs pretty much a 3-4 and then a 4-3 and then jumps into a nickel, a dime, a 5-2. This dude doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but I'm not sold on him. I say get his ass the fuck out of there. We got Rob Ryan, who is player personnel for the defense. Move him down on the field and let him be our defensive coordinator.
I would like that a lot better, actually. I'd love to have Rob Ryan, as our D coordinator. So, and he's a Raider. I don't know. I mean,
that's right.
But I want to say something about both coaches, both McDaniels and Graham. Both could find success in the NFL. I mean, the NFL their careers are still way ahead of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying this is
they're still young. I mean, these guys could be coaching. These guys could
I
be
don't
coaching
know
the next
if
20
McDaniels
years.
flops this one, then I don't think he's going to get another head coaching gig. I think this will be.
Well,
up
you
for
might
him,
not
and
get
he'll probably
another
go back
what
to
I'm, what I'm saying.
coordinating.
What I'm saying, there'll be coaches in this league, is what I'm basically saying.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
these guys,
look,
Yeah,
he's
he
a
can
good
take his happy
coordinator,
ass
but like
back
to
in
me,
the
he's not
ring
a.
room.
He hasn't
that's
shown
another
me he's
thing.
going to be a head coach.
The coaching carousel in the NFL, just an FYI too, on how contracts work, that is by design as well for the NFL. They have different contracts in the players where they actually have to take the job. There's a reason why homeboy just left. Who just left from Arizona? Cliff Kingsbury. He just bounced the country. There's a reason he left the country.
Left the country.
He left the country, bro.
Where did he go?
Thailand.
Why?
Do you know why? It's because
Why not?
Now, earlier I brought up the NFL has attorneys and advisors that follow these guys around, dude. And they follow these guys around to make sure, like, hey, dude, are you looking for a head coaching job? You're under, because Cliff Kingsbury just signed a $70 million contract. That $70 million contract will be paid because Cliff Kingsbury, if he comes back to the country, he will get hired, and then that team has to take on that contract. The way the NFL works, everybody's getting paid, man. Everybody's getting paid. So that's
Everybody
say,
but
man,
us, because we're not asking for your money. We're just here to give you guys the truth with intensity from real Raider Nation, who's been here, man, who's seen it and done it all, bro. And in all actuality, man, I appreciate everybody on this board for showing up.
But one thing I want to say, though, that's why I love being a fan and talking the game and not the politic bullshit that goes behind the scene.
Yeah.
I love the game first. The game is what brought me here. The game is what made me a Raider.
We got Raphael backstage. I know we got to get
Al Davis loved the game first. Okay. He loved the game. He loved the passing game. He loved the passing. Al Davis practically invented the passing game. Loved the game first.
Raph, how you doing? Hey, we're gonna get out of here. You got a couple minutes to say anything you want to say, man. We've been on here for like 2 hours, so
yes. I'll be quick and simple, because next year we deserve a lot of better.
That is true, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We should deserve
you got some of that, Circus Raider. You know that, yeah.
Look, we don't deserve a lot better. All right, we demand better.
There you go.
And there's a fucking difference. We demand better because we
demand a lot of better than that.
We are the greatest fan base in all of sports.
Thank you,
we
Critique.
should demand better.
I want my standard up here. I want my fucking standard up here. And you know what, dude? If we're going from $70 a ticket, I haven't been to Allegiant Stadium yet. Do I have to pay $800 a seat to go fucking watch this team lose in a brand new stadium? No. Dude, I fucking paid $70 a seat, and I saw some of the best Raider games. I paid $30 a seat back in the day. I saw Harvey Williams score 4 touchdowns in a game. That was great. I think I was sitting next to Mikey Raider in that game. I have a funny feeling he was at that game and I was sitting next to him. Or maybe the game after. I can't remember. But one of those games.
I come on here too, bro.
I swear I met him at a game before all this YouTube stuff. I swear I met him at a game, dude, because I saw Harvey Williams run four touchdowns, and my ticket was $29. $29. I think Ticketmaster back then charged a $2.50 service fee. That service fee now on StubHub, when I went to go buy tickets this year for the Rams Raiders here in LA, dude, they wanted like $70 for a service charge. Shout out to ripping off everybody.
I spent $1,500 on 2 tickets in the Black Hole when I came to Oakland in 2019.
Damn, bro.
I literally sat behind Gorilla Rilla, but you know what? For me, that was money well spent.
You had a blast, and respect to that. One thing though, I'll say, I sneak into the Black Hole all the time.
Yeah, I know. It was annoying because there was a lot of people that would just come and stand around and kind of cram the space, and it's like, dude, we paid for these seats. You know what I mean? Like, kind of
and what I'm saying is, like, back in the early 2000s, you can't do that anymore, dude. Like, you can't sneak into a game, or you can't do shit like, you know what I mean? But like what we did back in the day, it was just crazy. You know what I mean? And so I love, man. Like I said, man, the whole goal is, man, I can't wait to go out there to Vegas and tailgate with everybody, man. I can't wait till we all click up and we go out there and we freaking live it up, dude, and freaking just, get pumped up, man, and bring that culture that we had here in California to Vegas. And hopefully it's nothing but black jerseys in that stadium, man, and we're the home crowd. Taking
I'm
over.
sorry, but when you give them terrible towels to swing around, or you're giving these motherfuckers champagne bottles to go down on the field and break them on the damn goalpost and whatnot, we're not bringing our fans in here. We're basically bringing in a bunch of new guys. You know what I mean? A bunch of new fans who obviously don't know the culture of the Raiders. Now, speaking of buying tickets, I bought San Diego tickets when the Raiders played the Chargers in Oakland for their final. I think it was their final game in Oakland, and I gave those tickets away to my brother to where he could go down there with his wife to basically go and watch the game because I wasn't going to be able to make it. So I figured I would give them to my brother. And sure enough, we added another diehard Raider fan in his wife just from me doing that, bro. And that right there is well worth it. Like, hey, bro, straight up.
So did you guys come to a San Diego Charger Oakland Raider game out here? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that's where I was going. It was 2019.
Oh, shit.
I went to the Bengals game in 2019. I was supposed to go to the Thursday night football game between the Chargers and the Raiders, which actually turned out to be a really good game. But then work commitments I had to sell those tickets. It was the same. I was going to be sitting in the black hole. I had to sell those tickets and reschedule to come for the Bengals game, which wasn't so great as the Thursday night football game, but it was still an experience I'll never forget.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. Hey, so you roll out here a lot, Afakasi, for games? You try to do like once a year or?
No, I just so happened to have to come to America at that point in time. I won't get too much into detail, but long story short for me is that like I always wanted to make it my mission to go to a Raider game ever since I've been a diehard Raider fan. Nice. It was always a dream of mine, and to be able to do it while they were still in Oakland. I mean, look, Las Vegas is their home now, and it's a beautiful stadium, but for me, that vibe that I was able to experience in Oakland, bro, I'm so happy. I will never forget that, and I'm so happy I was able to experience that while I got
chills right now by you. I got chills by you saying that, bro, because game experience, bro, the nostalgia, something that you're never gonna forget, dude. Like, dude, that's what I live, bro. The energy in these stadiums, dude, and that vibe, that just that nostalgia, bro. Like, I saw Barry Bonds hit that home run, dude, and I'll never forget when that. I mean, everybody hated Barry Bonds, but I'm like, fucking, this guy's gonna fucking break the record. I witnessed it, bro. It's sometimes going to you never know what. That's another thing Raphael said. You never know what you're going to see, man. And that experience and everything, dude. And then looking back 20 years, dude, you're going to thank your future self is going to thank yourself you went and sat in the black hole, brother.
You know what?
And that's what I always love
when
your future self goes, hey, Dave.
Yes.
Dude.
It was every bit the shithole it looked like on TV, but you know what? It was our shithole.
And you know what? And that's what the other fans but that's what the other fans like to say because they're doing their fancy shit over here on fucking high def TV and they're on their cell phone, you know, like at Levi Stadium when the Niners are playing, they're checking they're fucking vlogging and they're fucking on Twitter all day. They're not watching the game. No, at Raider in Oakland, we're watching the fucking game. That's what we're doing. We're not on our phones.
Yeah,
fucking taking selfies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I stood the whole game. I didn't even sit down.
I wish I had my phone in 2000, you know, the early 2000s, be like, yo, bro, like, check this vibe. You know what I mean? Like fucking Bill Romanowski got the whole fucking black hole standing up. You know what I mean? Like, that's like that, like, but that's where I'm hoping that's like that for us, man, because like, that's what Allegiant Stadium looked like to me against the Chiefs that last game. I'm just like, damn, dude, is everybody on their phone today, just on Twitter? Not rooting for the Raiders?
Oh, no. I was just saying to Dark Atheist, like, yeah, that is Raf. No, I wasn't pointing.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I wasn't saying anything to that. Yeah. No, I just did that little silent like. So shout out to you guys, man. I got a lot of energy. I probably went a little too long, man, so I got to bounce out. But much love, dude. And I'm so happy I got to meet all you guys, man. And I'll try to do a better job and get on here.
Hey, thanks for mediating the bet, though, man. You guys are living proof what the bet is. It's right here on camera. Here is the receipt for anybody who's trying to go ahead and be like, okay, yeah, you said you'd do that. Well, trust me, I stick by my word. And I know Hardcore sticks by his word, too, because if I didn't think that he would, we would have never made the bet.
So is that part of the bet you're going to have to buy a Tom Brady jersey? And Hardcore, do you even own a Antonio Brown jersey?
No, we don't own either of them, but they're on order.
So
they're both on order for this shit going down. So, like,
hell yeah, they are. And we're not getting them through the NFL. We're getting them through a Raider brother who actually gets these jerseys made because you guys already know how I feel about the NFL. I don't want that piece of shit logo NFL shield on any of my jerseys, period, dude, because I don't support what they do. You know what I mean? They're all about the money.
The upside to it is, depending on how the shit goes down, is like critique can always take off the back of the the name on the jersey of the Brady, put on Rich Gannon or the Snake, number 12. For me, I'll have 84, of course, because of Antonio Clown, And I'm thinking about Keelan Cole, man. He ripped it up this year, so I'm gonna put fucking Keelan Cole on the back.
And you could always use Jerry Porter too, bro.
I'm
Jerry
just
Porter
playing.
was
I'm
a decent
playing.
receiver.
I'm playing. It would probably be Jerry Porter, but I thought it was funny because I was like thinking about Raider players that have worn 84 and Keelan Cole this year, and he didn't do shit, So of course I wouldn't put Keelan Cole in there, but
hey, I got a Deshaun Jackson.
So I guess that's the problem when you got the official jerseys. The official ones have the numbers ironed on. You can't really do anything with them. Not like these ones that where they're stitched on. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So I guess we'll wrap it up. Getting out of here. Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. When we had to replace Ruggs with him, you know what I mean? I still got it. I'm not going to change it just because I always wanted a Deshaun Jackson jersey in silver and black.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's wrap it up here. Give your closing statements. You guys, make sure you guys go subscribe to Raider Critique, Raider Dave with Grimecast Media. I put their links in there. You can find them on YouTube and, of course, Afagasi Raider. Appreciate everybody coming in here. Any last, kind of comments and to close out, make sure you guys let them know where to find you. We'll start with you, Raph, and then we'll go over to Afagasi and then Raider Critique and close it out.
All right. So my YouTube channel is Rafael Chassin, as known as Capitan Rafucho. And I got to tell you something. We are the fucking nation.
That's right.
No matter what happens, we are the motherfucking Raider Nation.
Tell him, Raph, no, we are the nation, baby. We're going to get
We are the nation. We are the motherfucking
brother.
nation.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, look at my finger. Just fuck your team, 49ers. We are the motherfucking Raider Nation. So,
all right. Love it, man.
I love it, Raphael.
Well said.
Mad talk.
I got a lot of energy to do, but yes, I'm loving it.
Do you know what? Hey, brother, you know what? Energy's a good thing. You know what that means, man? That means you're dialed in, bro. You're focused. That's all that means, dude. Much love.
Afagasi, you need to send me an email, brother, so we can link up because I don't have your contact outside of this. Raider.hardcore.
How do you want? Sorry, let me write this down.
I can put it in the chat too. Raider.hardcore@gmail.com.
Put it in the private chat and I'll copy and paste it, but I appreciate that. But yeah, thanks panel. Thanks for having me on. Nice meeting you, Grimecast, and jumping up with you again, Hardcore and Critique, and as well as seeing you, El Capitan Rafael. My channel's down there below. If you type that in, Afagasi Raider, I do similar stuff to what you do, Hardcore. I've been getting to the tier list side of things. Me and my boys, the RWO crew. Shout out to Raider Joe and Auntie Six. We just did a video on looking back on the first round draft picks we've had since 2007. So that's 15 years. So we did a grading system about how they went and how we felt. But that was a lot of fun. But that's my channel, Afagasi Raider. You know what time it is. Raider Nation for life. Win, lose, tie, Raider Nation till I die. It's not just something I say, it's a way of life. So yeah.
And you're gonna, when we win it, brother, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful.
It is.
Yes, it is.
And hopefully that day will come sooner rather than later, because I got to be honest, I'm getting tired of year in and year out having my sporting heart broken. It's about time we get back to the promised land and start kicking some fucking ass and taking
hell yeah. And you know what, brother? Hey, life is too short to wait another 20 years. Fuck that shit. Let's win it. Let's get that mentality.
Just win, baby, by any means necessary.
That's right, baby. I love it. I love the mentality, man.
Well said.
Oh, what is it? My turn?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to put all your guys' shit.
I thought it was, man.
Counterclockwise, I think. Yeah.
You guys can find me on Twitter at InGun421 and then also Instagram. Everybody who is in the chat who has not gotten their patch, if you hit me up on Instagram, I will send you one of these patches. You got to send me your credentials, your address, along with your zip code. Terrence, you got to send me your zip code, bro. You got way too many zip codes in New York, bro, especially for your town. But I will send you one of these patches, all right? And that will put you in a drawing to get you one of these badass Raider Challenge coins that I have been flashing throughout the show all show long. Now, as you can see, it's got Allegiant Stadium on the back. I also need to get my brothers theirs as well because, they deserve one of these as well. It's also the logo for the Hardcore Raider Nation podcast. So look, man, send me your credentials. Let me get you a patch. Put it on anything silver and black that doesn't have anything to do with Tom Brady or Jamarcus Russell, and we're good, baby. You know what I mean? And that'll put you in a drawing to get one of these coins. I'm going to be giving one of these coins away. At least I've got 4 of them that I'm going to be giving away this off season. And hey, man, you got to be subscribed to the channel. You got to be active in the chat, and you got to be subscribed to both channels, bro. Hardcore and definitely myself. And also, why don't you give all of our brothers on here a subscription as well if you haven't already? Because we're the real Raider Nation, baby. We're not out here to take your money. We're not out here to sit there and beef up other people's problems and try to make a money grab. We're just here for y'all to give y'all what you actually aspire to want, which is Raider content, man. And that's what we're here for.
Can I just say one thing real quick, just before you shoot?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dark Atheist, salute to you. I see your comment there about Raf. Look, man, I mean, with all due respect, Raf has paid his dues. You know, go ask.
Damn right he did.
You know what I mean? He's paid his dues. He's a Raider. He's a Raider fan now. So let's give him a little bit more respect. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because last but not least, because I'm just like, because I know I'm a rookie and I'm still learning about the NFL. But look, I'm wearing this risky. I'm wearing this one because you know what the fuck would I do? Because this is a Raiders hat, and I represent the Raider Nation. Even though I'm still learning about the NFL. So I gotta tell you, don't fuck with the Raider Nation, homie. Okay?
Hey, brother.
Don't
hey,
worry about
hold
it,
on.
bro. Me
Raph,
and Ern are
Raph,
gonna lock you in a dungeon, and we're gonna teach you everything you need to know, bro. Raider
Raph,
Ern and myself.
there
we're
you
gonna
go.
have
Yes.
fun.
Where are you from? Is it Venezuela or something? Or
Oh yes, I'm from Venezuela, South America. But yes,
you got a big family still over there, or what?
oh yes, there is a big family.
Okay,
like
okay. So,
brothers and
so
everything.
since you're somewhat of a new rookie, you got to recruit like 3 to 5 family members to be Raider fans. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Oh
There
yeah,
you go.
there you go. There
Like
you
that-
go. Yes,
That's
yes.
the initiation. You got to bring 5 more with you, brother. All right.
Well, hey, Raphael, I'll say this, brother. As a diehard Raider fan my entire life, I've never had another NFL team. This is the team right here, dude. And, dude, when you got that energy, bro, and you bring it, bro, that infectious energy, dude, will feed onto others and those around you, bro, and you can build that unit, bro. You can build that. Like, I'll just say from my experience, dude, I'm out here in Southern California. Raider Nation runs deep out here, dude. If I'm at the 99-cent store, dude, and I see a dude wearing a Raider hat, it's instant click it. Dude, we instant knuckle buck, bro. We're already loud in the line while we're getting our freaking discounted drinks at the dollar store. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking about and you know what's crazy, dude? When I talk to Raider fans in the flesh, in the walking around the grocery store, I'm grabbing something to grill or whatever, dude. All that, dude. It's so good, dude. The optimism is so good every time. Like I run into Raider fans everywhere. Just at the grocery store today, dude, and they're like, "What do you think of this?" And we're talking for 10 minutes in the frozen section, bro. Like that energy is always contagious in this fan base, bro. So keep that energy, brother. I'm all for it. And I love your hat, bro. Where'd you get your hat, brother? That's a throwback right there. I think they just released those hats.
Yes.
Those are the newer hats, right? Yeah, it's dope, bro. I saw that hat earlier today, and I'm looking at getting that hat.
Hey,
brother. I'm a
and
hat
Raph is paying his dues, man. Raph has done things that I wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, me too.
And you know
He's
what?
paid his
He
dues.
even jumped on Raider Ben's channel and got torched his first time there, bro. I mean, it was bad. And he's still here, and we already know how savage of a fan base we can be. Dark Atheist ain't really said anything nowhere near as harsh as I've heard some of these guys come at dudes who have been on this team for 9 years. And I mean, let's be honest, man. We need to open up our arms and we need to open up our hearts for new Raider fans coming in here, and we just need to teach them the right way.
Hey,
we need to
quick
teach
question.
them how to be a Raider.
But
Quick
just make sure
question,
you're here for
Abbasi,
the
Raider
bad times as
critique.
well as the good times.
Exactly.
Dave.
Don't be running off during the bad times.
Afagasi, Raider critique, Raider Dave. Can you guys speak fluent Spanish?
very
¿Cómo
little
está?
Spanish.
Sí.
Hey, Rafael, can you
Oh,
speak
yes,
fluent
señor.
Spanish?
Oh, yes. Gracias por estar ahí presente y por supuesto, esta es la Nación Raider. Así que
There we go, man.
Hey,
we need to
hey,
branch
Raphael,
out, man.
I got
do it,
Make
man.
sure you talk to the
languages
ladies
like
like that,
English and
Raphael.
Spanish,
You know
yes.
what I mean?
And you can
Yeah.
also speak, because we have a lot of Hispanic culture in
Yeah.
this fan base. You can actually speak to a lot of our Hispanic brothers and sisters that can't understand what we're talking about at all. And
Exactly,
you'll be able to
exactly.
interpret that.
So yeah,
It is. It
so
is.
that's
yes.
it. we got to continue to grow it, man, and you could be part of that. So like I said, you got to recruit some family members as well as some others. So yeah, it's all about uniting the Raider Nation. All right, Raider Dave, close us out, man. I'm gonna put your link in the chat here.
Right on. What up, everybody? I'm Raider Dave, man. Hey, let's get excited, man. We're not playing in football anymore. The 6-11 season's behind us. Let's look at this thing with the glass half full, man, and let's start developing that mentality, man. I'm gonna do my part this year and try to get some tickets and go to Allegiant Stadium, man. I'm hoping I can afford it. But fucking man, I'm hoping we can invade Allegiant Stadium and take that shit back this year, man. That's my optimism. But much love what the chat put out there tonight. Love what we all put on the panel out here tonight. Love the discussion, man. It was very productive, man. And yeah, man, thanks for having me once again, man. I appreciate it.
Hey,
It's always a pleasure, Grimy.
Everybody in the chat, really appreciate you guys joining us, man, as well as looking forward to this bet. I'm gonna roll this Brady jersey on a wheelchair, so my homie Raider can wear this shit backwards. I think it's gonna be funny, dude. This is gonna be a dope show. I can't fucking wait, dude.
Well, I can't wait to send you around the little clown hat with the little spinny propeller on top of your Antonio Brown jersey.
Oh, hey, we'll get a vlog on a little clown and like a red nose and shit.
Hey, with a clown though, you always need a clown car. Just get a little clown car and start driving it around like fucking, get the fucking vlogging camera going, dude.
Circus music, hell yeah, dude. So, yeah,
Antonio
dude.
Clown
And then,
car.
of course, Raphael, Affigassi Raider, dude, hit me up, man. I put my email in there, and we'll definitely link up outside of this. We'll figure out a way to make this happen. More than happy to come join your channel. I just got to figure out your time frame and whatnot. But yeah, hit me up on that. And then Raider Critique, Raider Dave, as always, dude, you're my homies. Appreciate you guys. And the Devontae Adams jersey giveaway be the weekend before the Super Bowl, so make sure you guys tune in live for that. You guys can find me on Twitter. I usually don't advertise it a whole lot. I'm not big on Twitter, but it's at Raider_hardcore if you want to be part of my Twitter and whatnot. So appreciate everybody. And as always, man, there's only one nation. It's Raider Nation. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Raiders! Yeah, much love, everybody. I appreciate it, man. That was good energy. And shout